water pouring.
They're talking about wakeboarding. The thing about wakeboarding, every trick is an invert.
Backside.
One side, air railings.
A new dimension.
All right, we are back. Another episode of the Grab Matters podcast. We are doing Shop Talk 12 with two recurring guests, Daniel, Jarrett. How's it going, Dan?
Going great. Thanks to be. I can't believe I'm in the room.
Yes. Crazy. Awesome.
Yeah.
And we got Garrett Cortese.
Howdy.
No stranger to the studio here.
Happy to be here.
What are you doing in Florida, Dan? What are you doing down here?
The annual trip to see the in-laws. So they live northwest of Orlando, and we make the trek down in the van and pack it full of gear and come down and hang for a week. And then I'm actually going to be here for a wedding. One of the owners of the Cove getting married in Sarasota.
Nice.
So this Wednesday.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Gonna get some riding in with Max, your son?
Maybe after this with you guys, we
Yeah.
can convince Garrett to pull out the Speedo and the slalom ski, rip some laps maybe.
Yeah, that's a very slingshot thing. You'd have to get on slingshot to do the Speedo situation, I think.
I'll take that scurfer out for a rip.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
You know, I've never ridden that.
I've never ridden a
as
scurfer either.
embarrassed as
I've never ridden it either.
It's
Or no, I have it at cable, actually.
yeah, I'm embarrassed to admit I've never ridden one.
Yeah, I heard they're fun. Anyways, all right, let's do favorite grab. Every episode's got to start with favorite grab. I mean, you guys have answered it before, but maybe answers have changed. Dan, we'll start with you.
So I have a hard time not going just two of the classics, Indy or Tail. So first pro I ever watched from a boat was Thomas Harrell, and he would do this like shifty Indy poke, and then he would start doing that to back one, and it just had such a cool flowy snowboard feel to it.
Yeah.
And so that was always mine. Like I would just try to like grab Indy and just slam out my front foot. In my older years, Tail, I can still kind of like really pull that thing up, you know?
Yeah, I've seen you bust out some nice tail grabs at the cable.
Yeah.
And for the listeners and viewers, if you haven't watched old Thomas Harrell wakeboard footage, highly recommend.
Highly recommend.
Yeah.
Go put in
One of my goats.
Mayday or Decline of the Water Ski Monopoly.
Yeah, there's some good offerings there of Thomas Harrell you can find on YouTube. Garrett, what do you got? Favorite grab?
I don't know the last time I grabbed a wakeboard. It's been a minute.
Let's go favorite grab to shoot. What do
Oh,
you got?
man.
There you go.
You've been doing some
Great
shooting.
question.
Like all time or current?
No, let's say you've
Current.
done like the LF shoots, cable and boat.
Oh, man.
Love the last two.
Anything Sam Brown does is usually pretty awesome. Sam gets real bendy and pokey and can just makes wakeboarding look really, really cool. So, yeah, if Sam's strapped in and sending it off some double ups, which he did at PAL, and it was wild. I mean, like Moab Sevens in choppy water off a double up, just roast beef forever, and then coming around Spevin, like wild. But like just an interesting grab for one of the boat riders in terms of like a straight grab. Honestly, Gunther's got a nice method.
I kind of was I'm picturing a photo.
I can picture a photo. The very first morning of the PAL shoot, Gunther got first dibs, and we had a sheet of glass, and his first trick that I took was a boosty method, and it like.
Was this the reentry one? Because I saw a clip of him doing a reentry one.
No.
But that didn't seem in the
No.
morning as much. Okay.
Yeah, the reentry.
That's what I was thinking
The
of.
reentry was an idea that he came up with, like of something to do when the water was a little beat.
Yeah.
And he's like, let's go do reentries off the dub.
Looks fun.
Cool.
I liked it.
His reentries were, I don't know when he started doing them, but it was such a breath of fresh air in the boat scene.
Yeah.
And he wasn't the first, was he?
Mm-mm.
No, of course.
I think Derek Cook turned him onto it some.
Okay.
I mean, Parks used to do them way back.
Way
in the
back,
day,
in the
right?
day.
Yeah.
You can watch Parks and
I'm sure other people too. But
12
Yeah.
Honkies.
Yeah.
Does that like toe back, whatever reentry.
yeah, those are sick. Reentries are
Good old
dope.
PB.
What blows my mind about Sam and some of these guys who can grab flips forever, because that's, I mean, coming from a guy who learned tantrums the wrong way, throwing my head back, and then I was forever chasing my feet, and just some of the flip, spin, Moab combos, like I've ridden enough to be super impressed by that. Like it just blows my mind.
Yeah, the flipping, grabbing, and spinning all at the same time is.
It's crazy.
I think that's why Sam is so like unique in that sense.
without a slap. I mean,
Yeah, he's not slapping. That's I think really the
Right.
kind of what makes it special.
Their understanding, like this generation's understanding of like rope control and line tension, and like if you pay attention to what they're doing with the handle as they edge in and right as they take off, like it's wild. And then you can sort of tell what they're doing by like some of the slack in the rope and like how they're pulling. It's crazy.
So I always looked at Shapiro back in the day as the guy who rode the boat almost like a cable, because he was doing like just huge front to blinds and hit like last minute 180s.
Right.
And just, he was a master with line tension. So
Ahead of his time in that sense, for sure.
So some of these guys, and maybe there is some credit to some of their cable background, but
yeah,
incredible.
I mean, I think that's why we're seeing Trent be, so good. Obviously, he's a super talented athlete, but like he understands the rope and the handle, which is unique to this sport. So
yeah.
All right, I think I'm not going to say elephant in the room, but PWT got announced. The ladies are back.
Ladies are officially back.
Huge.
Let's go.
Huge. The sign is down. I got to think of a new counter. I was going to think maybe days since Dan did a back 5. Days since Garrett has rode a wakeboard. There's a lot of options we could do here, but we'll think of something good. But yeah, let's just dive into it, I guess. Like, it's a big deal, I think, that women are back on the tour. It was 4,265 days or something like that, 13 years.
Is that what you unplugged the counter at?
Yeah, I think it was 4,265 and some change. And
yeah, it's a long time coming, but it is, like you said, it's a great opportunity. And I get to work with the PWT now. I've done it for the last couple of years, just helping with marketing and social media stuff and photography. And getting to talk to some of the girls now leading up to the announcement, they're super pumped.
Yeah.
They're super pumped.
As they should be. And I think we can preface this. I think that was good for people who don't know. You're kind of on the inside a little bit. You're on the social. You help out. You're involved in the discussions, the fancy backdoor meetings with the suits and all that stuff.
Some of them, yeah.
I think we preface it with, I think it's not lost on at least me that they should have been on the tour this entire time. Right. So with that being said, we should still celebrate the fact that this is happening. It's going to be awesome. I think I'm very excited because I think the women's field, you've got Megan and Zara, I think, who are clear towards the top, but I think you have a lot of people that if this goes on the next few years, it will get very interesting. I think it will be interesting, honestly, the first year, especially with Julia.
Julia's
huge. I think, yeah.
Yep.
It's going to be interesting.
I think, yeah. They're pumped. I'm pumped to see what they do with it. It'll be the format is going to be different this year.
Oh, okay. You want to touch on that a little bit? If you know?
Well, we don't actually, at the time that this comes out, they might have finalized formats, but it will be announced that it's a 3-stop series and it's all made for media. Yep. It's not going to be a traveling tour, just a budget, a logistics thing. And honestly, and I actually do agree with, I think there's value to having a traveling pro tour, but when it's hard to get crowds and it's hard to justify the cost. And so really the pro tour wants to elevate the riders in the best way possible. So that means getting the best content possible, making stuff for media specifically. So you put them in conditions that are going to be great, and try and let them really shine. And then each stop will have a different format. Right now the discussion is one would be more traditional, another would be like they've done in the Groveland stop. Head-to-head.
I thought that was very interesting.
Where you get one opportunity for a best trick, you get one opportunity for a 3-trick line, and then you get one opportunity off the double up, and you can't repeat tricks.
Yeah.
Which has been a very popular format for fans to watch. That's really gotten the most engagement. And then the third stop would be some other variation.
Sure.
And I don't know where exactly they're headed with that. The decision hasn't been made yet as of recording. By the time this comes out, though, probably that decision will have been made. But at any rate, I think it'll be really fun to see the girls in that environment, getting creative, showcasing everything that they're capable of, and which is more than ever before. It feels like they're throwing down, and
13 years.
I think it's been 13 years.
It just blows my mind. This is not a hot take, but I think as somebody who's been in marketing for so many years, I was just so blown away that you would take out one of your strongest marketing assets on site for an event, especially, and obviously in 13 years, a lot has changed with social media.
Right.
But, how are you selling more boats? How are you selling the lifestyle? And this is forever the half pipe issue. Men's and women's slope style for a lot of people has been more enjoyable to watch because it's so much more relatable. And, you can
versus men's slope style because it's not relatable.
in a lot of ways.
Yep. Okay.
And so I'm curious to see with the right format, will we see just some fantastic riding? Some of these girls, like they're grabbing, they're making tricks look great, and it's just come a long way.
Mm-hmm.
So I just, again, from a marketing perspective, it never made sense to me that why wouldn't you want?
No,
because like our sports forever, this is a hot take, but for our sports forever had this issue of, are we going to objectify women or are we going to herald them as athletes?
Right, amplify.
So you had the ad in the magazine next to a woman riding, and there's been this tension, and surfing's dealt with it. All of them
have, right?
So I'm so excited. I'm happy to see that. And funny story, because for a while I was like, man, as a cable guy who grew up in the boat world, I was a little. I went to the precedent as a kid to watch my heroes, and I remember sitting next to, Byerly. Brandon Meek, Thomas, Parks was there, Murray was there, everybody, Kobe. I could go on and on, but everybody was like standing there. I mean, we made intentionally. We're sitting next to the pit, just because it was so cool.
Right.
But by the time these guys get riding, you're like, I think that was a back mob. It's forever been a tough sport to watch in person. And so we talk about how can we get these live events to do well? And it's either got to be you got to book a huge band, have an awesome beer tent, and try to sell some boats. And so I'm not, I've rambled on too long, but I'm not anti the media approach, because boat has forever been a really tough sport to watch from the shore.
Right.
Anyway.
I mean, even bro stock was a struggle. I mean, sure, it's its first year back in 10 years. The flotilla was good. The onshore crowd wasn't great. The media product was awesome. And every sponsor that was part of it was stoked on the viewership, and the numbers that came back exceeded expectations. So that's a win. But it's hard.
Is it a flat screen sport?
I yes and no. I think boat, specifically at Brostock, I was on the flotilla right there, right by the double up.
Right.
That is incredible.
Yeah, it's a vibe. It's a vibe.
Insane when you're up close. When you're far away, it has a drastic effect in the other direction where it's not that cool.
So I'm so bummed that I had to leave for work that day, because I stayed in the house that you guys were in.
Yeah.
And it could have been all time for me personally, because I was like, here we are staying in this lake house, awesome vibe, hanging out, and then to be able to either take a boat or drive over. I think I was with McKee. McKee had a boat in town. It was just.
I think boat contests are best viewed from a boat.
Yeah.
For a couple different reasons. A boat's a party. It's your own crew. You do your thing, but you're close.
Right.
From shore, it just is a bit detached, I guess, and it's maybe really hard to sell unless if it's right there. I mean, really close. So, yeah, maybe made for media is the way. Personally, I probably wouldn't take it that direction. Budget-wise, it makes sense, I think. But I'm always a fan of bringing the wakeboarding to the people rather than the other way around. But, who knows? We'll see. It's a different direction. Try it and see what happens. I think if you nail it, hit it out of the park, could do numbers.
And one more thing. Last summer, I was on a boat with some dear friends of mine. They are the quintessential wake surf family. And I was blown away that their 14-year-old daughter was like, I want to wakeboard. Because for a while, and I ate my words, because for a while I've, in this new era of travel sports, and that's what's a lot has changed, even because I played basketball my whole life, and travel sports was not the same when I was coming up. But now these families are they've got so much to compete against in the summer. And this girl, she plays travel basketball, all this stuff. But again, her family is the wake surf family. Because in a long time, I've been saying, what really is the future for boat riding with women? What percentage of families that have a wake boat are going to have boys and daughters that actually want to keep wakeboarding instead of just surfing? This isn't hating on surfing. It's just
we can do that too if you want.
I mean, there's some chats to be had.
Anyways, continue.
But I was blown away that this daughter and my daughter were like, yeah, we want to get up and wakeboard. And I was eating my words, and so how many girls like my daughter, like my daughters, and their friend that we rode with, how many have we lost out to not, set that aspirational.
Yeah, and I
tone.
think that's where seeing professional wakeboarding in person is crazy. Like if you see a professional wakeboarder from the boat or from a boat that's close,
Nothing like the boat.
it's crazy.
Right.
It's insane how big they go, what they do.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's I mean, I guess there's a yin and yang, right? Like if this is made for media, there's also, I'm assuming, are these going to be on the weekends then if it's made for media, or are these going to be on different days where maybe they could have an event on the weekend and they do this on a different day or schedule conflict and stuff
No,
like that?
I believe they're doing it on Thursdays and Fridays.
Okay,
At Groveland.
cool. So theoretically, if there's an event Saturday, Sunday, these guys
they
could
won't miss it.
So I think that's huge. I think that's really cool too.
What kind of other tours for like promotional stuff, like Malibu doing or Just Ride series? Do we know what's
Well,
all
it's
going
now
on?
Mastercraft is the
Well, no, it's Malibu's demo tour is Just Ride, but I believe the
Rider Experience.
Mastercraft
Sorry,
took
yes.
over Rider Experience.
Yeah.
So Mastercraft has Rider Experience, and Mastercraft still does Let Her Rip, which is the all women's
Yeah.
Cool.
demo series that spearheaded by Megan, but they do 6 or 7.
I think
of
they're
those.
maybe at 8 now.
Yeah, yeah. Apparently,
Cool.
they've
Fact check
done,
that,
they've
put
done
that on
really
the
well.
screen, but-
And that speaks. Those are what I think move the needle the most. Is
Yeah.
like you said, get people in the boat, get them out on the water, have them interact with the pros in that sort of like type of situation. Get to watch them ride. That blows minds, and
I mean, a lot of people have wanted to bring back the full-on tour of trailer and a boat around the country. And,
Oh, right, like the Trip Across America
Double
or
Up,
Mission
N1, yeah,
Mission to
all-
Ride. Yeah,
and it's just like us hosting a demo. You have to luck out with the perfect weather, the perfect attendance for a demo to really go well.
Yep.
And it's just all these companies year after year going, what's the real ROI? That said, like nothing like seeing a pro from the boat for the first time.
Yeah.
Being in there, and just, to me, it was always like some of the pros I watched, it was all the little things between the big tricks. Like I couldn't believe how easy some of the things Thomas did that were incredibly technical tricks, but he was working on like a skeezer, and I remember him just like popping back and just doing a beautiful blind 180, just to get back in rhythm and put him back in position to do the
And it was
trick.
nothing to him. It was just
Nothing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you forget how good these guys are. and
Oh,
girls.
yeah.
You forget. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's anything else on PWT you guys want to touch on before we shift into Olympics?
oh man,
I mean, we're talking contest wakeboarding.
contest
This is the
light
perfect.
light topic.
We're going from boating to now the cable side of things, which it appears as though we might be closer than we've ever been before. I don't know how close we really truly are. I know I was talking with Kevco a little bit about this, maybe 6 months ago when it was kind of getting brought up for Brisbane 2032. For those who are unaware, would be, where cable wakeboarding would make its Olympic debut. Yeah, thoughts,
You first.
Garrett?
If they can make it work, I'm for it. Like
Yeah.
if you imagine having LAO as like an Olympic event, it'd be insane. So, yeah, there's always going to be controversy, right? You can't make everybody happy, and you're always going to have people battling for who gets to govern what or make what rules or decide what. But having a sport in the Olympics helps, right? Sure, yeah. Was there some controversy with snowboarding at the last Olympics? Yes. I think
Sure.
we saw it all over
Oh, yeah.
social media.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But is controversy good?
I mean, is just being in the Olympics a good thing? I believe it helps the sport as a whole. I don't judging controversies or whatever. To the core people, it might seem like it's hurting the sport.
Yeah.
But ultimately, eyeballs and involvement and engagement is a good thing. So
Yeah, and I think, Dan, before you jump in here, I think wakeboarding as a sport could never get an injection of eyeballs, I guess, and engagement as you would get with Olympics. Nothing would even come close. X Games wouldn't even sniff what Olympics, whether or not we like that, hate it, doesn't matter. That's reality.
right.
Like, that's reality. So even if it's just air tricks and some rainbow boxes, would that be ideal? No, it probably wouldn't make our sport look that sick, but we'd still be there. As long as we're not breakdancing where people are like making fun of us for being in there, then I think we're fine.
I think from a production standpoint, they could make a cable setup so affordably comparatively with what these Olympic
Oh, yeah.
villages get and
Oh,
stuff. Like
right.
it's just, and creating an environment where it could be really, really perfect, where you could, I think what I've always thought is that just make sure we have symmetry with rails and transfer boxes, mix in some air trick zones. But I think that, oh my gosh, Unit, I think could knock it out the park with let's make sure that we lock in a slope style feel. Cause again, it's relatable to how long has snowboarding been in now? It's
1998, I think, knocking in.
Still relatively recently. But I think that's key, is have it be relatable. So, I've forever, as a Midwest cable park, am trying to get snowboarders to finally see why this is the best form of cross training for them in the summer. And it's impossible. So,
yeah. And we can touch on that in a little bit. I think we do 2032 Olympic picks. So men's and women's, who we got winning?
Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
I'll go. Trent Stuckey, I think, is going to win. I think he's going to train even harder. He will have 0% body fat.
We're in 2026,
and it's 2032.
So 6 years.
6 years. You got to factor that in, right? Because I think if Gunther sees this coming in, he's not stopping.
He's not stopping.
He's saying, "I'm going in on this."
You could say Trenton Rivers pretty easily. I think
you could. You could say Julia Rick. I disrespected her on the 1080. I'm sorry again for that. You did land the 1080.
She's still going to be
around. She's still, yeah. Yeah.
If Murray's shown us anything, some of these people that are that good
and take care of their bodies.
We've joked about, how long do you think we can do a back roll? I think we should clip to us doing a back roll behind a boat.
Well, it doesn't look good, but we could do it.
We can do it.
I'm not going to grab it.
No.
Yeah. Who do you got? You guys, besides the obvious names, you got any sleeper picks? It's 6 years from now, so you could think of a kid that's freaking...
There's going to be some crazy Grom that'll be given there. I think the sad take is doubles and some of the kicker tricks and lower limbs getting injured, and I'm forever worried about people's health in this sport. So who knows who'd be at the top of their game at that point. But anyway, I'm game. I want to see it.
Preston Persichetti.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Everybody in Europe right now is just banging their steering wheel. You didn't say anybody that wasn't American.
Sorry.
I'll go Loic. I think he'll do some cool shit.
He's fully healthy for this year.
I think he's still rehabbing something.
Hey, he's got that motorcycle or motorbike accident.
Because I was excited to see him and Trent and Gavin and Pedro just really go at it. And I think until we get to Olympics, the side topic is, why the hell can't we figure out a unified pro tour? And this just came up on the Grand this week. But why can't we come up with a unified pro cable tour? Just for the love of God, just link up what we have already and kind of formalize it.
Right.
Make the top 10 men, top 10 women. You guys are required to be at all these events. Season kicks off at LAO, and I don't know if Wake Duel is still around.
Every other year, I think Wake Duel is.
Yeah, and we all know the rhythmic flow of the season is
right.
It's Europe heavy in the beginning anyway, and then we can cap it off with yard sale at the end.
Yeah,
and just that way, come up with a leaderboard. I think we're going to add it to your plate. You got a new website, grabmatters.com. Everybody go there and support
check it out. Yeah. We got a Patreon question from Chad Korecki, so I want to make sure it gets asked. But he's saying, will wakeboarding ever figure out a pro tour for cable? So, we can probably dive into it a little bit more.
I hope so.
I think who does the responsibility fall on is really what the answer to that question lies. Who's going to do it?
Another thankless job for you.
I don't think I'm the guy for that, though. In the serious tone, I don't think it's I think it's somebody.
So who are some of the groups that have done some? Is it Wake House?
Yeah, maybe they're yeah, maybe.
But I literally called Nico, however many years ago, and was just who else was it? I think the crew over at Inside Wake, and I was like, what do we?
Probably was involved.
What do we how do we start the next season without doing the same stuff just slightly wrong again?
Right.
Let's just change one thing going into the 26 season. This would be low-hanging fruit.
The tour itself would be low-hanging fruit if you get everybody to agree on it. And I think maybe that's the problem is we have solid events. LAO is a solid event. Everybody says it, but it really is one of the best put-on events in wakeboarding as a whole. And there's others Wake Duel is one. It's every other year now, but there's tons. Munich Mash is one. It's different because it's kind of invite only. So how do you do this whole situation? I don't know. That's the logistics of it maybe is the difficult part of figuring it out.
What I like is that it would show because you could do there's all that drama that I'm not even privy to, but you could cover the different style events, because I think a lot of people have argued that we need to have wake the line style for Olympics. So should our Olympics be a 2.0 like wake the line, or should it be LAO?
Yeah.
And I think, again, the sooner we can unify what we have now, it's going to cover it all. And you could throw an IWWF event in there where it's, like you're saying, one box and a bunch of air tricks. But anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting for sure.
It is. It's I mean, I think it is up to you. I think you just create a fake leaderboard. I mean, it's not fake. You're keeping track of points.
Yeah.
But then you just declare a cable world champion, the Grab Matters cable world champion at the end of the year.
I want some of the brands. I'll leave nameless.
I mean, well, what did we have that we had the Triple Crown?
Yeah.
For Monster
Energy Triple Crown,
and LF had the
Park
US
Pro.
the Park Pro.
Yeah.
Great efforts, but
Right.
here's the problem. The season is so short, and like travel costs, you name it, goes through the roof, and we end up going, okay, here we are again. Not everybody was there because so-and-so was at Polish Nationals the weekend of Triple Crown. Or, you just end up with too much fragmented, instead of, again, U10 riders somehow do a way to get in if you're not in that top 10. I think we should know, right?
Yeah.
It should be clear-ish. But I think some of the brands, like I was going to say, I don't want to call anybody out, but I understand that some have just gone, no, we're going to focus on media, and we're not going to focus on having our top riders be at every event. I think that would be my only, you'd have to see that. You'd have to have all the brands unify and say, yes, we're going to help these guys and gals fly to where they need to be for this goal. And again, we all know what the potential issues with the Olympics are. Is it going to show us in a bad light? Will we look lame?
I just don't care about any of that because at least we're there.
Exposure.
Yeah,
Right.
At least we're there. I think
Right.
that far outweighs any little negative that we can think of, it's I just, what does it look like, I guess? 3 or 4 stops and you have a final stop where everybody is there for the championship, and I just don't know how you get there, I guess. I think I know everybody knows where we want to go, but how do we get there, and who's going to do it, and what contests are going to be involved, and financially who's going to back it. It starts to become a bigger problem and a bigger thing you need to tackle than just, we have these events, let's loop them into each other and put a name on it. So, and then I think for Olympics, if I was the Olympics, hopefully they're not watching, if I was looking at wakeboarding right now, cable-wise, I'd be like, you guys are real fragmented right now. You got a lot going on, and none of it's connected.
I mean, you could say that about both sides of the sport.
Correct, yeah.
Too.
You definitely could.
You've got competing entities and competing world tours, if you will. Yeah.
So it's interesting, I guess. And personally, format-wise in the Olympics, maybe we can talk about that. I would personally love to see the LAO format. I think I'm maybe I'm biased, but I love watching that format of half the cable. It has cool features, kickers, an air trick section, or you can hit the other thing, and it's short. It moves very fast. That would be my, I guess, dream format.
And it feels big enough.
It feels big.
It feels, again, it's somewhat relatable. I think the average watcher is going to be like, oh, this kind of looks like slopestyle.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
It's something that they've kind of seen.
Yeah. Whereas you probably might know the history better. Like, I've heard some of the rumors why we didn't stay in X Games. X deal didn't go the way it should have. Money wasn't spent right, whatever. Or was it ultimately not great for them on the ground as a spectating sport?
Oh, you're talking about with boat.
Yeah, because my favorite line from that, at least it's probably, I don't know if it was their line or not, but the Harris twins always joked, half pipe, boat is the half pipe of our sport.
That's yeah.
Kind of.
I mean, what I always heard about X Games was logistically, it was a nightmare to find a venue close enough to where X Games was being held.
Good enough
to
water.
have good enough water. You have to have a full crew of video people and production people that are just at that site that's away from the rest of the X Games venue. And it just becomes a logistic and financial nightmare.
I mean, and when you put it apples to apples with skating, which is like some ramps and not to say that a half pipe in skating is an easy thing to build and put together, but it's nothing compared to water. It's boats, so it's tough. But yeah, I think Olympics would be sick. I mean, I'll obviously stay tuned in and update throughout the podcast as we get more news, but it seems like it's moving. I don't know how far.
Yeah, Kevco and I talked at the summit recently, and he probably said some of the same stuff that I don't know if we can air here, but it's I'm encouraged. So Chad, there was our long answer.
Yeah, okay. Well, this is a good transition. You brought up WSIA. For the international listeners, WSIA is the Water Sports Industry Association. Kind of North America heavy, I would say, USA heavy. I don't know if there's a lot of international kind of recognition of this, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know what their membership is like in terms of any international partners.
Yeah.
People do come from Australia for a summit,
For sure.
which is wild and fun because I get to see people like Daniel
Watkins,
Watkins or Steve from Follow.
Yep.
Yes, we had some great
yeah.
chairlift time with Steve.
Yeah, and
Love that guy.
but yeah, I mean they do international work, but yeah, they're probably more North America heavy.
Yeah, so I guess for the listeners who don't maybe know what WSIA Summit is and what WSIA is, maybe a quick rundown of.
So they are the main governing body of towed water sports. I mean, like parasailing even falls under them. And man, I forget who. I think Jordan McCormick, who we originally bought our cable from, was like, he's like, if I had to pick between Expo and Summit, I would pick Summit. And his reasoning was you just get so much quality time with, and chairlift time, bar time, to just be with the who's who in our sport.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wouldn't know some of these legends that I looked up to without going there. And it was just, I'm so glad I've been a part of it. And I think I've learned, because I was like a lot of people that were skeptical. Oh, it's another company that just wants your money and is a bunch of stiffs who don't care about our sport.
Yeah.
But I can't say enough about James, Naomi, Lee, the whole team there. And I wish, any cable owners that are listening right now, like, sign up. It's pretty affordable. Like, get involved, make your voice heard. And it's just, they are for us. And
yeah, they're an advocacy group.
Yes.
Not just a governing body, but they and there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that we, average Joes don't see or know about. But all of the waterway battles that happen across mainly North America, they are fighting for. So people, like an HOA that might be trying to like ban wake boats, WSIA can get involved and help fight that fight.
And they are actually showing up
they
and
actively
doing
do
things.
that.
Yeah,
And they've had some big wins for us, and keeping advocating for the water sports industry. And so, yeah, like Dan said, if you're a member, you get access to that advocacy. You get access to these meetings with everybody that's at the brands. And so, like for me, going to Summit, I started going when I became editor of Wakeboarding Mag, and for me now, it is sort of like the alternate to Expo. It's getting to see people in the industry, shake hands, high fives, share beers. And they always do it every year in the snow, which is super fun because we all see each other on the water in the summers. And so to do an annual conference in the snow is a fun way to get together and go have some fun on the mountains and hang out on chairlifts and just
all time.
Yeah, it's super fun. It's super fun.
Yeah, and those who are interested in maybe attending next year is in Salt Lake City, Utah, which I think will be the best location we'll ever hold it, snowboard-wise. So I think, it's worth attending. I've been once, and nowhere ever in towed water sports will you get that many people in one area for that amount of time.
Right.
People who are actually like behind the scenes, pulling the strings, making things happen, and knowledgeable. So it's cool.
Yeah.
Very
so
cool.
if you're a cable owner, if you're a dealer, if you're, you name it, like, become a member, get involved.
Yeah. Super cool.
We need everybody's voice. Yeah.
Doing helpful stuff. And you can snowboard or ski if you're into that thing. All right. Yeah. Are you a skier?
Me, Don Wallace, Aaron
Well, I knew
Grace.
Don was, yeah. Aaron Grace, really?
Aaron Grace usually wins the Alliance Maniac Downhill contest.
Yeah.
He's not with Liquid Force, so he hasn't been at Summit the last 2 years. But he wished everybody well this year, knowing he probably would have smoked everybody.
Who won this year?
It was the guy from Austin from Mission Bay Aquatic Center.
Yes, it was.
And Don got second or third?
Don got third, I think.
Oh, I put okay, Don. I was expecting a little more out of you, Don.
Sorry,
That's
Don.
all right.
I mean, I'd seen he'd been training. He's been doing box jumps and
Right.
I've been seeing the box jumps.
right.
Yeah, maybe not enough time on hill, too much time in gym.
I mean, Mammoth had a pretty their season was
Out west had a bad year.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think Don said what got him pretty smoked was having to run up to McCaffrey at the top of the hill and take the Jaeger shot.
we had a
bombing.
cardio issue.
There was a
Okay.
Yeah.
We need
That's
more
where
time
that's where the whippersnappers stepped in.
Yeah, that's at
apparently.
elevation too. Thin air
Yeah.
up there. So, all right, I think it's time we dive into the LF'n Hot Seat. So, Liquid Force, they like to make wakeboarding fun, and we've got Garrett, who works at Liquid Force, to ask the question in person, which I think will be fun. So let's make this podcast a little bit more fun. We're gonna put Dan
I'm already
on
sweating.
the LF'n Hot Seat.
Already
That's
sweating.
why I wore a black shirt for the listeners.
Let's see. Hot seat question. With the current state of what's happened with some cable parks around the country and the world, what is your take on cable parks having to close or deal with some of the difficulties that have been taking place?
Okay. Where do I start?
R.I.P. Terminus. You got Terminus. You got it on your hat.
I know.
Yeah.
We
Much
love you, Terminus.
Much love, Chase, the whole squad there. So I think we just celebrated our 10th year, and anybody that's talked to me about cable, thankfully, anybody's talked to me about this stuff, I'm candid. Everybody knows, you look at WestRock's business model, they know we're not killing it numbers wise. And I think for a long time we looked at aqua parks as being the savior. And there's a lot of different ways to look at what is that thing that's going to sustain a cable park. And it always comes back to how was it built and how much money did you spend to build it? And is your land deal, are you renting? Do you own the land? There's so many different ways to slice it. And we could all chime in about what is the best way to run a cable. And there was a heyday when, back in the Triple Crown days, there were a bunch of cables being built.
There were.
It was crazy. And that was about the time when we started in 2014. There was a nice wave. And so you look at, and forever, I think the Europeans listening, they're like, why can't your U.S. cables get their shit together? And I know not every European cable's killing it either.
Right.
So I've heard plenty of stories. But it is interesting that at some of the top cables in Europe, they don't have aqua parks. Excuse me. We don't have one because our lake's too shallow, not the right location. And the reason we've moved that way is that it's just not, you need something that's not skill-based. So what is that easy thing to get people, as many people to your facility, and just, you can host school groups, you can do all that stuff. And we added a beer garden. So I could go on all the different ways that you can slice a business model, but it always comes back to how was it started? Is it financially feasible from the start? Because I think we still believe, you see, Terminus was having one of their best years, if not their best year ever. And unfortunately, it didn't work out with where they were.
Right.
And so for us, similar deal, I'm looking at other locations. We love where we are, but can I be near a greater population or, foot traffic? There's a soccer facility that sees 2 million visitors a year. And I think there's just layer after layer, and it's hard to not give you just a really quick answer, but
there isn't a quick answer.
No. And I think the change in travel sports, like I mentioned earlier in the women's discussion, how do you convince people that this is something that they should do
and continue to do?
Correct. Yeah. It's a great workout. It's not as intimidating as you think it would be, but it is a tall task in a short season in the US with all that we have to compete against. You think about it, travel sports, by the time kids get out of school early June, they may be taking a family trip. Then their travel basketball is kind of finishing up, and then they're doing whatever else. We are competing against so much every season. Memorial Day to Labor Day is realistic.
That's your window.
That's your window. And even the southern parks, I've had so many discussions, like Josh Young, I'm here for his wedding in Sarasota. He co-owns the Cove. We talk about all the time. Trickiest thing for these Florida parks is when to maybe be closed. Do you take off January? Do you take off? And, they're always hoping for this injection of tourism traffic, but are you just burning your whole staff out? And I know you Floridians, and your blood's still.
Don't put me in that bucket.
Is it thin?
You don't have a Florida driver's license yet?
Yeah.
Never.
So, but no, like how many cables down here are just dead a lot of the winter, and they're just they're just burning payroll and all that because no Floridian wants to ride. Like tomorrow, it's gonna be 59.
Yeah.
So there's so many different avenues, but like I know that Wake Nation is just doing this pass deal to try to keep the park alive. And I know Steve, and I know a lot of their employees. I don't know if that's going to be the ticket to keep them alive, because I think their aqua park does fairly well. But they're an anomaly to me. Like they're in a soccer field. I don't know. Like I don't know why that place isn't thriving. You know,
it's kind of a weird location. Every time I've been, it's just like a little bit. Yeah, it's in a soccer field, but like there's nothing else really going on there, and it's, I don't know, maybe location based, but yeah, like you said, they're doing. For those who don't know, Wake Nation, the cable in Ohio is doing. If they don't sell 200 season passes by May 1st, I believe is the date, they're claiming they're not going to open the cable. I don't know if holding the cable hostage against your customers is, the best way to go about it. But it's certainly a fascinating idea of we need to hit this number. Otherwise, it's not financially viable for us to do.
At least he's honest.
Yeah.
For me, like our camps do really, really well. So I think our camps do better than our season pass. And like, I've always been known as saying, like, I care about our first-time riders as much as the pros or the members. And I think some cables have swung the pendulum either way, where all they care about is beginners. And then you don't create an aspirational avenue for people.
People don't stay into it because it's just like, oh, well, if it's just for beginners,
Correct.
I learned it, I did it. It's not that fun anymore.
So, I don't know.
How many season passes do you sell?
Oh, man. Last year.
Because you got different options, right?
We do.
Okay.
I want to say 80-ish.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but yeah,
Quoted.
I should have that number clear out. I took the winter off and kind of checked out more this year. So yeah.
I want to tap in real quick how you feel about the booking system, because you went bookings, and me and you, I would say we disagree on bookings.
Interesting.
And I'm just curious because you've instilled it, or you've,
Is that because you're lazy and you don't like to plan ahead?
Garrett, I don't want to get into the ins and outs of why I don't like booking systems. No, I do have some concrete reasons that I think I don't love them, but I want to hear how they've been going, because you've been doing it for several seasons now.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure.
So yeah, we've butted heads about this, and this is like when you put your core hat, like your Hunter's mellowed out with his core tendencies a little bit. I think.
Oh, come on, man! Doesn't pop up as much as this.
Right?
You can't pull it out of me though. It's
do you
still
think it's
in there.
because of sponsorships? Like he
It
doesn't
might
want to. It's the political aspect.
I don't know. You think the days since the women were on the pro tour, not doing myself any favors with that. All right.
Sorry. So for a long time, we always said this is the summer version of a ski resort, and it's just not the same.
Yeah.
We can go to any local ski hill, and you can have thousands of people all going down the hill at whatever pace they need to go to related to their skill level. With cable, you're either riding or you're swimming. There's no middle ground. So back to, I have to convince you that this is a sport you should try. And if I'm taking you from zero to hitting rails, it's a journey.
Yeah,
to
long time.
So I want every rider that comes from Madison, Milwaukee, Chicago, et cetera, to have a predictable experience and a repeatable one. It should be affordable, repeatable. I mean, you look at the Cove's progression sessions, they do 3 different speeds in a 3-hour session.
Love that. I'm always been a fan of that.
A gazillion yellow helmets. And that is the key to the future of this sport. I love both ends, the beginner and the advanced rider, but any core rider that doesn't know why I do reservations doesn't understand the fact that it's all about your experience. I never want you to be coming into a transfer at West Rock, because we take tons of pride in our layout. I want every pro to come to West Rock and go, that place is so fun. They may not have X, Y, and Z that some of the European parks have, but we are such a fun lap. If you get tired of riding West Rock, there's something wrong with you. So, but I never want you to cut in for a transfer and feel the cable slow down because we had a beginner trying to get off the dock. Now you're pissed because you got hurt, you put your shin into the rail. So that's it. I want a very predictable experience, so we can keep arguing about it all day long.
Yeah, I mean, I think for each park it depends. I think added friction to me is a huge thing, and I think a booking and reservation system is adding friction to a process that's already a little bit difficult. So I guess my contention was, if I just show up and there's open slots, the process should. I guess I wouldn't be such a hardcore like bookings only is the only way to ride. But if I'm a season pass holder and I don't want to show up for 30 minutes, I don't want to have to go and book a session and then it's full and then I got a season pass and I can't ride. And it's like, well, this sucks.
I love that. The problem that you miss, because I'm with you. And this is why I love WakeSys, Grabby, some of these RFID systems that I would love to integrate. We've been too cheap and we still write on the wristband. But our members, they still book, but they know that there's room there to just to show up.
I guess maybe that's my biggest contention is because I always have sympathy for the kid who's really getting into it and just wants to ride all the time. And if this kid has to book every single day and sometimes he can't ride and he really wants to ride, it's man, that sucks.
The only time that we fully book out is our slow sessions. And again, the key is the growth. And I have to control the way you first experience wakeboarding. Otherwise it's going to be terrible. So we have a pain point. There are parks that will let a huge line grow behind their 2.0 line. Now a mom has spent X amount of dollars for their kid to barely ride in a 2.0, and they got to get back in the back of the line and then wait. So again, I treat our 2.0s like a class, but for the advanced rider, to answer that question, if we have a thunderstorm or a cable issue, Lord knows cables break, I want to be able to call you on your hour drive to West Rock and say, hey, Hunter, turn around.
You had a session booked, but this happened. Don't waste your time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if I don't know when you're showing up, I now have a pain point with filtering in new riders who now are waiting in line because we don't have a reservation system. And then I've got a bunch of pissed off pros or people that were like, how many cables have we heard of? Oh man, I showed up and the gate was closed. I hear this all the time from people all over the country that are like, we don't love reservations, but we love the fact that you at least communicate to us.
See, I don't know if that's a reservation issue as much as it is a communication issue where if I'm going to a cable, I now check the social media of that cable. And I checked Sharks 2 years ago when I went to go ride and they weren't open. And it didn't show anything on social media. It didn't show anything on their website as far as I'm concerned. It wasn't obvious. And I went there and it was not open. Yeah. Or it was just the beginner cable with nothing on it. And I was like, oh,
it's a tricky balance. It is. There isn't there's no one right or wrong answer, right? There's multiple ways to skin the cat. You just got to find the balance. And I think Dan brought up a good point. The bread and butter for not only our industry, but most every industry.
It's not unique. Yeah.
Is the bread and butter is the intermediate. It's not the beginners because you're not just going to get an influx of beginners.
Yeah.
And it's not the advanced because not everybody's going to stick with it and get to pro level. It is getting people involved and keeping them involved.
2 weekend warriors.
They have to have the aspiration of, oh man, that pro made it look so good, or that would feel so cool if I could do something like that. But they just need to be coming regularly, and they're on your blue hills. They are not the ones dropping cliffs. You're not making, the Palisades isn't making all their money off of season passes by the guys that drop the cliffs. It's,
And what it's really helped too is it's helped level out our traffic flow. And so a lot of cables would have this spike on the dock and then it would be dead the rest of the day. So what it does is it balances out as well. If I'm running the letter rip tour and I own X dealer, X Mastercraft dealer, and I've got Megan in town for X amount of days to do this thing, I am 1,000% doing slots. Right. I am for sure going to do reservations because the last thing you want is 20 girls and their parents on the dock going, when am I going to
get on the boat? Yeah.
Yeah. So any way you slice it, our sport has, we are not an open flow business model, whether it's boat, cable. I think the more you schedule, the better the experience for everybody.
Yeah, I just want to show up and ride. I'm a little selfish that way, but I get it. It makes sense.
Your core. Again, it's not a snowboard hill.
I know, and I guess that I've always wanted it to be, and I think a lot of the people in my shoes always want it to be as well. And it's
it's not a rope tow like Hansberg rope tow.
Yeah.
Gazillion kids all hanging onto that thing with ripped leather gloves, doing a million laps on it.
Yeah, just can't do that. We're not. That's why when people compare the two industries, they're just not. It's just not the same at all.
No,
they're more non-comparable than they are. All right, I think we got a Patreon question that we should dive into.
Did I win that debate or not? I just want to know if it's settled yet.
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a business owner. I'm just an asshole wakeboarder. So
Was that all based on the hot seat question?
Yeah.
Nice. We ran that one for a while. You got your money's worth, Liquid Force.
All right, let's go positive now. Patreon question from Rich Wheeler. He's wondering, for you all, what is one thing that makes you optimistic about the future of wakeboarding, and then what's one thing that makes you pessimistic. Let's go optimistic first. Garrett, what makes you optimistic about the future of wakeboarding?
Man, actually a lot. It's hard to just pin down. And having been involved so long, it feels good to not be able to pin down, like, because there is a lot. I mean, I could point to women being back on the Pro Tour. I could point to Rivers winning Rider of the Year. I could point to just the level of riding overall, and how far athletes have continued to push the sport in all aspects. And even in like some really unique creative ways. Like, sure, you see, we've come to expect like killer video parts from riders at the end of every year. And it's awesome to see like Rivers doing hers with Domain, but we get that every year. But like Maddie Muncy and the Wakeboard Street Jam crew, and like they work hard to make that thing happen. And it's awesome. And I think it's inspired a lot of people, and helped the sport grow in like a little bit of a different way. So I think you could point to a lot of things. And if I had to then like try and narrow it down into then one thing, I think there's a lot of passion in like the current generation of pros that has me excited for the future of the sport. So like the kids that right now are 16, 17 to 24, 25, that range of riders are, and my view is a little bit more limited these days because I'm more tightly involved like with LF. So I don't get to interact on a regular basis with riders that ride for other brands, but just like what I see and from talking to like the LF team and stuff, there's a lot to be stoked about.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off that because it's kind of my view is in the same lane of stuff coming back into the riders' hands and the riders really kind of controlling the direction. I think Street Jam is huge. It's run by the riders. It's a legitimate event. Hexajam is another one that Nick Dorfer is running that's run by the riders. I think. Is
that only at Trilago?
Yeah, it's just this is the second one. Okay. So it's kind of starting, but last year it looked like it went insane, and so I think it's even going to be bigger and better this year. Events run by riders. I think media, Copycats Club, Cena runs it. West did Space Mob. Like there's all these media things that are run by the people, and I think it's kind of shifting back in the hands of the people who are actually doing the sport, boots on the ground. So I think that's cool.
It's tough to top your list. Like that's somebody who started riding in 94. Like I've seen the sport go through it all. And I think you look at a boat set and go, man, can they really do another flip? Here we are. Like the riding has never been better.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And so you nailed all the tops. Like as a father of 3 kids, 2 daughters, like I love that, when Rivers rolls through, Anna's been through, like it's really every year that we have a women's takeover event, it's so inspiring because it is my mission as a traditional sport athlete to get as many of these kids riding a board.
Yep.
Riding a board or a ski or whatever. And so I got to, so like that, it just makes me so happy to see all of that. But I think it leads into the pessimism.
There we go.
Yep.
I'm glad you did it.
Where at the
That's
end,
the second part of the question.
At the end of the day, money is required to keep all of this sustainable. So whether it's, can we keep cables open? Can we keep media companies open? Sign up and join the Patreon if you haven't. He's doing a great thing for the sport.
Thank you, everybody on the Patreon.
So, I think if Cena was sitting here, if Wes was sitting here, like everybody's got a story of how tough it is to keep this passion project afloat. And so in defense of maybe the boat companies or whatever, I mean, I don't think having the women off the tour was ever a good idea, but you can't, money's got to keep things afloat. Right. And what is the actual ROI? And so that's where my pessimism in the social media era that we're in, what is the real ROI? And so I've had this discussion with Ruck and a few others where we are back to, we got to hustle. We got to get boots on the ground and bust our ass to get as many new people in the sport. Otherwise, we're going to keep spinning our wheels.
Yeah. Going in circles, not ground. You got any,
things to be pessimistic about?
Yeah,
I can piggyback off Dan's a little bit. The short-term economy. We are last year was I think tough for a lot of brands. Probably any manufacturer, hard good boat. Last year was tough. Tariffs made things very complicated. Prices generally got raised. Sales probably weren't as good as they could have been. And I'm not sure how much that slows down or corrects itself this year, considering some of the current economic and political situations we find ourselves in. I know that the multiple board brands are manufactured in Dubai, and having the strait closed at the moment is affecting some shipping. So yeah, there's challenges, and I think you're going to see that might be felt, unfortunately, with some sales and stuff going forward in 26. We'll see.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, the politics is tricky because we've been hit by both sides of the aisle.
Mm-hmm.
Like our payroll has gone through the roof, and our expenses just, and so I think the issue is oh man, year after year, people that don't own a business making decisions
about how to run yours.
And my favorite phrase with all this stuff is, what are the unintended consequences? Yeah, I had a huge tariff bringing a new running cable in, but I also had an insurmountable amount of cash going out to keep our staff hired, and it totally screwed up our pay scale. I know this is cable's an issue through and through, where insurance rates, minimum wage laws, and you go, I can only charge so much for a service.
Right.
And then I can only charge so much for a board. And I kept getting emails from the board companies like, well, here's the new pricing. Here's the new pricing. You're just going, so a lot of cables are going, oh, you guys just do direct to consumer. We'll just figure it out, and that's a whole nother debate and topic. But anyway.
Yeah. Good answers.
I think we're also stoked on the progression of women's wakeboarding. Can we just have women political leaders? Can we just replace some of the leaders of the world with women? I feel like things
under the age of 65 too would be ideal. I think
that's a good one.
Correct.
I'll do pessimistic. I think just staying in your own lane and not willing to branch out and support things that aren't in that exact lane is something that I'd like to see. I mean, I think people are kind of stuck in what they view, what they want to see is, and aren't willing or open to being receptive of others wakeboarding, I guess, and supporting what's sick. So if you think something's cool, don't listen for somebody else's opinion first. Form it on your own. I think that's kind of maybe the crux of this whole thing, where it's I'm just waiting for some cool wakeboarder to tell me that was cool or not. Well, figure it out on your own if you thought it was cool or not. Don't wait for somebody else to feed an opinion in your brain. So thank you, Rich, for that Patreon question. Thank you, everybody on the Patreon. I got to take a piss, so maybe we take a little break.
Hey, audio question. Have you guys been this whole time? Have you been hearing my stomach growl? Is it coming through my mic?
I haven't heard it.
I know, I wasn't breathing right at the beginning because I was like,
I haven't noticed anything, but
this.
Is it
the bubbly is bubbly, and I am just sitting here just
no.
I did a couple burps.
All right, I think it's time we dive into Slings Hot Takes, presented by Slingshot. So this is 10 somewhat rapid fire questions. I'll ask each one of you. So we'll start with you, and then go to Garrett, and just kind of fire through. So.
All right.
You're shaking your head. What?
I think I'm going to be terrible at this.
Terrible.
So.
It's quick. Rapid fire.
It is Monday morning.
I know.
Yeah.
Just go ahead.
All right.
Fire away.
Favorite wake part ever? Wake part.
Oh, Randall. Natural born.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's usually the obvious answer. If you want me to give a different answer,
sure.
I'll go the one that got me the most stoked as a kid was Gator and Mayday.
Okay. I
Just
like that.
watching him fly off of double ups at Lake Powell.
I did my knee.
Yeah, I did my knee again.
Oh my gosh.
Just flinging in the air.
Front to fakie was wild.
Love it.
All right, I'd keep rattling.
I could talk about old wakeboard video sessions. I could talk about new wakeboard video sessions.
All right, we'll go number 2. If there was one rider you could bring back in the game, who would it be and why?
Randall.
Yeah.
I think Randall's going to be a standing answer for that one, so maybe let's give another one.
I could list a lot. I feel like I could rattle off
I think
Benny G, Lyman,
I was given
Twelker.
I was giving Benny shit about it. I was like, when's the last time we were on the chairlift? And I feel like this is a problem in our sport. I'm 40. I'll be 46 soon. I've done my right knee. I was doing a toe side back roll to revert, landed wrong, and blew my freaking knee out. Trick I had done 1,000,000 times. But what percentage of the dudes that are not riding anymore, there's a way to do it and not kill yourself.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, why do we hang it up?
I don't know.
Did grabbed 1s and 3s become not fun to these guys? That's my question.
Like,
Murray made McKee ride.
Hey, did you see the tantrum blind?
Tantrum to blind.
He reverted, but still good.
They were testing the arc boat, and Murray made McKee get out there and do a little something.
Yep. And Benny, like he said it. I think what a lot of guys say, when you get that good,
right?
And it's tough to because I feel it on the basketball court, because I was never an elite wakeboarder. I was good enough to really enjoy it and have fun, but like. I'm sympathetic to where if you play at a high enough level and you just know your body's not capable of doing what your mind thinks it can. But I'm going to throw the fun card and go, man, this is such a great workout. It's so fun. I want to be able to front board and backboard a rail for as long as possible.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I guess I'd really love to have Phil Sovin on because he would be, I think, a really good one to ask about this because I don't know if he rides anymore. I would have to imagine maybe not that much, but maybe I'm putting words in his mouth. Maybe he rides all the time.
I doubt it.
Yeah. But is he capable of going out and having fun on a wakeboard? Are these guys who are at such a high level, pushing it super hard, throwing their bodies on the line, can they just flip the switch and be like, yo, let's go do some 1s, some 3s, some 5s, T to B? Is it fun?
I mean, it's probably different for everybody, right?
Yeah,
it's a mental.
How does Raph, arguably the GOAT, do what he did with as much love and precision and then just hang it up?
Yeah. That's a great question. We'd have to ask them, I think.
I don't think MJ's taken many shots, which is crazy to me. Like, I love shooting around at this age.
Maybe Maybe the fun for it wasn't just simply doing it. It was the trying to win. I don't know. Number 3, most underrated wakeboarder.
Oh man, I know I brought up Rob Jakes in my first full pod with you.
Did.
Let's see if I can think of another.
You got a current one you could think of?
Oh, a current wakeboarder that's
let's
underrated.
Go current one. You said Rob, so.
Dude, you know who every time I see a clip of, and this is going to be a little bit of an LF bias, but I just get stoked every time I see a clip, but you don't see a lot of him. And yeah, I don't think it's because he's had like the platform to like travel and compete a bunch yet, but is Benny Heatley.
Yeah.
He is super fun to watch on a wakeboard. Yeah.
Okay.
I think mine will forever be probably Derry.
Darius Neville.
I think there's a level of respect and appreciation of, but I just don't think people get how crazy his ability has been.
Yeah.
And you walk in the land gaps at Valdosta and then watch some of his parts, and it's really, really tough to relate to, but he's an unbelievable all-time talent.
Yeah, all around too. Boat, cable, winch, all that stuff. All right. Is a video part from a wake park considered a full part? Daniel?
I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. I
Yes,
mean,
it is.
if you spend all the time, like, how many full parts were in the debut? Was it all cable?
Yeah. And is that a movie? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the greatest movies ever made in our sport.
Right.
By far.
Yeah.
I think
Nico's
Nico's
floaty back one at the beginning of the movie is
The
one
kicker
of my favorite hits of all time.
Did all of them go to different cable parks around the world and film different things at each park?
Sure.
Yes. So if you were just making a full video section at ODub, could you? I mean, you know what? A video section is a subjective thing anyway. Who am I to say it's a full length video section or not?
I mean, Yunel's like all-time part. I mean,
in all seriousness, yeah.
You can rattle them off, and I get the core purists in our sport that think it's only got to be street, and I get the argument,
Right.
but I think there's a place for it.
It's like you said. Don't let somebody else tell you what you think is cool. If you want to go out and film yourself and then put it out online, it's your world, man. Everybody shares the internet. That's the way the internet works. Like, it was different back in the day when your only outlet was a magazine or a group of guys that made videos.
So I was on a ski trip and I pulled up a wake edit, and it was too out there and unrelatable because they just couldn't grasp what was going on. There's a bunch of skiers and snowboarders.
Okay.
They just were like, what the hell am I even seeing?
Watching, yeah.
So I still think that we can't forget that a beautifully done, and obviously Rivers is really kind of pushing this, Gavin's recent part had some great Terminus clips. Just don't forget about the fact that we need to sell as many boards as possible.
Right.
Nils Ritzman had a great part too a couple years ago where he did like the back mob with he gapped the whole pool at Langenfeld, and I think those are.
I think he just won. I think he beat Tom Fouché in the head-to-head battle of LF March Madness.
Insane, yeah. I mean, Tom's clip was sick though. People forget how big that was. Yeah,
that was.
He did back 3, back 1 or something.
Yeah, under that giant TSR.
We need to bring shit like that back too. Big
just
stuff,
some
gnarly
stuff.
stuff,
Some gnar factor.
Yeah, get broke off kind of stuff. Yeah, I think if you want to get nitpicky, you could call it a park part, but I don't.
Yeah, whatever.
Can a butt check trick be an NBD?
No.
Nah, not like a super hard butt check. I mean, is it landed? Yeah, it's landed, but
No, I will forever side with the core of our sport on this kind of stuff. Grabs,
One for the good team.
butt checks, like
It's black and white.
no, and because the fun police comes along and just says, "Oh, it doesn't matter. We're relativists. Whatever's fun is fun. Just stop being a hater." No, that's crap.
it's not hating on the. It's not hating on the sport when you
No.
need something to be like landed properly.
Yeah, to me it's pretty black and white. If the ball doesn't go in the hoop, it doesn't go in the hoop. It didn't go in. It's not 2 points. Best female rider steez right now.
Rivers.
Yeah, I have a hard time not going Rivers, but I like. What about Bo? What about like?
I mean, it might be a little bit of recency bias, but
Yeah,
Domain is.
back 9 swag. Looks good.
Yeah, Katinka's up there. I love that. Back to the relatable point, like Megan's been grabbing flips for a while, and it just makes boat riding look the way it should.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good answers. Contests or video parts?
video parts.
I'm so torn about.
It's rapid fire, Dan.
Damn it! Can't say
Each
anything about
one's
nuance.
10 minutes long.
Video parts.
Okay. Best style?
Ever or right now?
Either or. You could go either or.
Orel.
Wow, that was quick. We're
That
whipping
was-
him into shape now.
Yeah, because here's the Alliance editor and me hemming and hawing.
Let's hear it. You get.
Yeah, now it's on you.
I've elaborated enough. I want to hear you elaborate on this one.
Man, best style ever. Ben's name always comes to the top for me. Ben, Twelker, Raff.
Okay.
Like those
Gun to your head, pick one of the 3.
man. Yeah, probably Ben.
Okay. Silky smooth.
Just like,
Oh yeah, the Pete Rose is all time.
and the way he would like grab and poke stuff, and it was like Letchworth actually put it best when he did. It might have actually been in Ben's Rider of the Year interview in Alliance. Ben at that time, especially, but throughout his career, had like a moment in each trick where, back in the day before we like had cameras that shot 30 frames a second, and you're just trying to like get that peak action a lot of times. And if you're using flashes, you only get one shot, right? And you are trying to, and Ben had a point in every trick where his grab would come around or whatever, and like a foot would poke in a certain direction. And it always looked so badass, but super fluid and super intentional. There was so much intention with Ben's riding, right? And he made it look the way he wanted to, and it looked cool. And it was,
How many times have you had to remind a rider that you're shooting stills and that you're capturing a moment? So don't do super technical tricks.
a lot.
It's amazing how you got to be aware of your surroundings. You might be a great rider, but your style, you may not have good natural style. And that would be my other hot take about because as a kid who used to I would emulate the Byerly's hook all day long. I would be lip sliding the wake.
Right.
How many of us kids were trying to be Byerly on,
Right.
throwing our arm out? That's
Right.
that's artificial style. And same with like exaggerated head bangs or after bangs where you watched Benny Byerly, go down the list of the style gods of our sport. It was style because it naturally overflowed from their riding and their body makeup, the things that they did. It wasn't contrived. whereas an afterbang, whereas me as a kid trying to be Byerly. That's not real style, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell when it's natty or not. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's obvious.
Yeah.
Favorite pull? Boat, cable, winch, jet ski, horse, car, ATV.
I grew up on boat. It'll always be boat.
Cable.
Specifically full size or 2.0?
Full size.
Okay.
Because I can foil around it.
Shut the fuck up, dude. Last one. Most illegal trick.
What have you used as the definition for this in the past? Like
Not-
a trick that should not be allowed in a contest?
Not even shouldn't be allowed, but when you see it, you're just like,
Oh, Shane might hate me. I think it's a Tootsie Roll, maybe.
yeah, okay, that's fair.
Like the ungrabbed Tootsie Roll.
Yeah.
That's a
And
good
I mean,
answer.
Shane's my favorite. I love Shane.
Just because he invented it, I don't think you take it personally, man.
Oh no, yeah. When I see that still used, I'm just like,
Bad ones out there too.
and I'm not sure the Dum Dum is much better. Sorry, Shane again.
The Dum Dum at least looks like it feels completed. It looks more completed. You
But
get a full 3.
But that last 180 is always so quick,
it's
and then
forced.
It is such an unnatural rotation to do that toe side front roll. It's a backside then 180 or 3, right? To go
Yep.
Tootsie Roll
To
then
keep
to
it
Dum
going.
Dum, and it is such a weird motion that like it looks cool when guys are doing it wrapped and like adding a grab.
Yeah.
But when it's just a straight Tootsie Roll on a contest,
Especially when the legs are like fully straight and erect.
I was like,
So,
nah.
maybe just do like a backside 180. Dan,
I'm stumped.
hit a cable one. There's plenty of cable tricks out there that are
Rayleigh to blind.
nose press, tail tap.
Don't take one of my tricks. Don't take one of my tricks. I got nothing left. Only got a few left. I know you're going to say like is it same way fours and
I don't know. This isn't for me. I'm asking you.
nah, I got nothing.
Nothing. Not even like front 2, pretzel 2 out. Like where you do front 2 on and then just completely unwind that. Like,
this is where it's so fun to do some of this stuff where I
Yeah.
just don't.
You got to pick an illegal trick. You have to.
Grabbing the wrong section of your board.
Nope, that's not illegal. That doesn't fall into the category of illegal trick.
What trick should people not do anymore, Dan?
Yeah, it's like a valid trick, but it's like not.
And do you put it at the pro level? What
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
trick should pros not be doing right now?
You're not getting away with this one. Getting out of this one, so we'll sit here all day.
Man, I want to say Rayleigh just to piss some people off, but
That's
Yeah.
fine.
yeah,
Really off the kicker? Or off the water?
No, I think Rayleigh off the kicker. That was our worst injury at the park too. We had to scrape a dude off the lid. Like he was so.
Somebody tried a Rayleigh off the kicker.
Yeah, I mean the percentage of people who try Rayleighs way before they ever should is high. I would say that's the low hanging fruit. And I also grew up in the anti
That's a good one.
anti skiboarding. I learned
Let's go, new crew.
totally.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I mean I learned from
Chase would be proud.
like
What up, Stakes?
Yeah, Chase might have been the first guy to ride finless behind the boat.
Yeah.
That Neptune board, the stuff he was doing without fins, crazy.
Super crazy.
All right. Really? I like that answer.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you to Slingshot for the Slings Hot Takes. Let's dive into another Patreon question. This one's to Dan from Parker Wasson. What's Dan's favorite and least favorite memory at West Truck? When did Matt Dillon and I work there?
Scraping a guy off the water after trying a Rayleigh.
Yeah.
It'll forever be when our lake floods. So I have PTSD every time there's a huge Midwestern storm that rolls through. I'll look over at the radar and go, "Yep, we're closed for a week, and we're going to be cleaning up for a week." So I would just say every time it
flood.
floods, it sucks. Best memory. Man, that's a tough
Watching Matt get fired from the local brewery. One of your employees for giving free beer to JB O'Neill and whoever.
after I had gotten him the job. Classic Matt.
Whoops.
Classic. No, we've had so many awesome crews come through. Like the most recent LF tour was just unbelievable. Like
That was fun.
Standing on shore watching Felix and Daniel Grant ride skis.
Oh man, that was hilarious.
That might be the top.
That was good.
One of them landed a back 5
It was just
On skis?
on skis.
I didn't even know you could do that.
I mean, I was like guttural laughing. I couldn't believe how funny it was, but simultaneously just like, this is a wild. They're pros.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a lesson. Don't take yourself too seriously. Throw the fucking skis on.
Yeah.
just who cares,
It was
dude?
awesome.
That video was hilarious.
stuff's funny.
Well, being there in person was hilarious. The video they made out of it was really funny too.
Yeah.
All right, that's a good one. Let's do another Patreon question from both of you. This is from Tom Cole. He says, this one is for both of you in your own areas. What's one thing that makes you crazy that has to do with working with your customers? At the cable or at a shoot, pro or novice, how can we avoid being that guy?
I love Tom.
That's a good question.
Do you know Tom?
He's a kneeboarder?
Have you heard of Trollhagen?
Yeah.
So their backyard is Coalhagen. He literally made his own snow guns. They've got a rope tow. It is awesome.
That's awesome.
That's sick.
He and his family are one of our favorites.
I got to meet Tom at Cornfest a few years ago.
Oh, so you both know this guy. Okay, sick.
Rips on a kneeboard.
Rips on a kneeboard. Super fun, nice guy.
Yes.
All right. How do you avoid being that guy? At a shoot, Garrett, who's the worst? What's the not a specific name, but like what's something that somebody does where you're just like?
You mean like a pro that I'm working with or a rando?
He said pro or novice. I guess you're probably not shooting.
I mean,
a lot
for
of
you,
novice,
like on productions, there's one guy or gal that can be a cancer on a photo shoot, and all of a sudden it kills the vibe. Or if
I guess you know that too, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have, but I'll let you answer.
Yeah. If you're a pro and you're being paid to be there, like, and you're coming with a bad attitude, like, just get out. Like you're gonna like, don't, like, this is your job. You are paid to like be on the water and have fun, and we are selling good times. Like, so don't be a buzzkill. I'm trying to think if there's been any sort of funny stories in the last couple years of photo shoots. Nothing that like really pops out. There's been some where there's been actually two times when we've been trying to record some video, and so obviously like we're mic'd up, we're like people are getting audio, and you'll have like a boat come up to you and want to start chatting, and you like you don't want to be rude, like you really don't want to be rude, and because we are obviously patrons of the sport, and these are fans and they're in a wakeboat of their own, and they just want to like interact and see what's going on or whatever. But there are times where it's like, man, we have a deadline. We've got other things like on this shot sheet that we need to get done. And I am sorry if I'm coming across as dismissive. We really do want to answer all your questions.
We're working.
But this is actually, we are at work right now. There was one where this family, and they were so sweet. They were like visiting. It was on one of the lakes here or down in Winter Haven. And they were visiting from somewhere Midwest up north. And we were on, some brand new boat. And they were just so excited about how cool that boat looked, and they wanted to keep talking about it and talking about it and talking about it. And like I'm sitting there, I was doing a boating review actually for Boating Magazine. Now pops into my head, and like Kilgus I think was filming me, and we're just like being super polite and like chatting with them or whatever. And then, but at some point we're just like, dude, we are running out of time. We gotta wrap this. Like Garrett's got a bunch of like more things to like talk about on this boat, and but. And that's not like, I'm not saying like if you see people filming while you're out on the water, like don't feel like you can't approach them. Like everybody in this sport actually is very cool and very friendly and wants to be proactive and help you with anything that you might have questions about. So it just leads to funny stories sometimes.
Could have called an audible there and had them jump in on the review. They'd have been hyped. Like, oh, let's check out this fucking.
I might still be there. I might still be sitting on that boat.
Just live stream 24/7.
I mean, the amount of people that we've all met out on the lake because you just pulled over and decided to chat.
Right.
Like I've got a bunch of great stories as a kid. Like people
at the
know this
ramp,
day.
Yeah.
It's so cool. So, but you got to shot.
You got to know
get
when to
through.
shut up and kind of.
Yeah. For me, it's going to be cable etiquette, and this is never going to fall into Tom's category because they're great people. But cable and I suppose boat etiquette. Our sport is too small for like, riders that are on flow or pro for them. You can't just show up to a cable and act like you own the place.
Like think that there's a pecking order.
Yeah, and like I've said to some of the reps, like I love Instagram for the fact that I've developed a lot of relationships with athletes and people because of that stupid social media app. So like I'm not hating on it, but it is awkward when I'm the one that's got to be dealing with, are they going to pay or not? Or
Right.
they like, and so I think there's some just etiquette stuff. And like for the average rider, I don't think most people understand how bad some of our cable etiquette is. And you just sound like a jerk. Like Josh the Cove and I know he's gotten in trouble for being kind of a, he and I both have yelled at customers over the years.
Yeah.
And it's so tough when people, when they think the world revolves around them, they hold on after a butt check. I mean, most cable issues are caused by rider error. And so if you hang on and you ping a rope and the rope, you come around motor tower and rope goes through or goes over the elevator, like you go on and on all these bad stories and you're just like, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but like, or you're riding down the straightaway and you're zigzagging all over the place, cutting way wide outside. And now the cable's swaying back and forth. So I think it just comes down to like learning cable etiquette, but we got to do a better job as an industry. I think teaching people, it's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely tough. What's the worst cable etiquette you've seen? Like the most egregious off offense?
There was a rider who thought they were much cooler than they are, who I get a call from a staff member. They were drinking beers really close to our kids' camp. All they had to do was call me or text me and say, hey, I'm in town. Can we help with camp? Like, can we do anything to serve you? Instead,
Why didn't you call him, Hunter?
Yeah.
I was busy drinking beer.
Yeah. No, it was not Hunter, thankfully. I wouldn't put it past him back in the day, though. Back in the day? No, I had it out with this guy, and I was just like, don't ever bother coming back. We ended up patching it up.
Yeah.
Burying the hatchet later.
The boat one is super easy. Like the worst is always people driving too close, whether it's to other boats or docks and shores, throwing big wakes and just causing a ruckus. Like if you're wake surfing and you're making people's boats bounce while they're in their lifts. Like,
I don't know how you don't you're not aware of that as a
Yeah,
boat
it's
operator,
just-
as a
because-
captain or driver, whatever you call it.
because the vibes are too high with the music that's blaring.
I
don't
guess
know.
you just got to be so blind to your surroundings to not even notice any of that
No, but
stuff.
I'm-
But
I
people
mean,
are like that.
The people that saved our industry, a lot of them didn't grow up. Like my best friend from childhood, God bless him, kills it right now, but didn't grow up. I couldn't pay him to come to my parents when we were kids. Owns a G, all of his kids surf. He knows how to do it now, but
Yeah.
like he didn't grow up with etiquette. And
Right.
so the people that saved our industry by buying all these boats didn't grow up learning how to drive a proper line to keep your lake calm.
Right.
Like I'm amazed by how many experienced, boat drivers don't know how to drive a straight line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's that was actually a topic that came up at Summit
Yeah.
about the whole Wake Responsibly campaign and how to continue to push it forward and how to really equip dealers to equip buyers with some boat etiquette.
Maybe I'm speaking out of place here, but is it really can it be as simple as the dealer goes out with that person the first time they take the boat out that year for an hour and be like, hey, say this is the lake you're going to be on. This is, kind of the zones you want to stay in. These are the rules you want to follow. Is it more complicated than that?
Same thought. I agree.
Like a physical person there, like just telling you this is what it is,
I think that's
in a cool way,
that would be huge.
rather than just ship them out with the boats. And I guess it's resources.
I'm sure
but,
there's a
like,
bunch of boat dealers watching that or listening that will say, yeah, we do that. I mean,
Sure.
but like I've always wondered, it's a white glove. There should be some kind of white glove experience anyway. If you
Yeah.
spend that money
When you're
on a boat.
the way that it is now, yeah. And then maybe it's a series of like YouTube videos. Like, hey, like we're out here with you today, and we're teaching this and this. But for reference, here's and it's shared across the industry through Wake Responsibly or something. But it's it's like when you're driving a line, make sure that you're
I
aware.
don't know
of
if I got big
your-
fancy boat
Yeah,
money.
you're
I'm not
probably. Are you
watching a
gonna
fucking
sit
YouTube
down on a
video
YouTube
and-
video? I don't know.
I'm gonna go rip this boat.
Well, why do any of us have websites anymore? Nobody wants to read. Nobody wants to watch a video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's when it comes to cable etiquette, hey, let go when you fall. You're not a pro. This is not the World Championships.
Right.
And I think probably when it comes to cable etiquette, it's like having your core riders, which you can leverage in that sense. If they know what's good, you're not even going to tell them that they need to speak up because they want you to have the good etiquette too anyways. And they're going to just kind of say something like, hey, don't do that. Like, that's stupid. That's all it takes to learn. All right, we got one more from David Verven from across the pond, and he's he got a long one here, a couple questions in here, but
Mr. Unit Park Tech.
You guys have been involved for so long and have seen and met so many pros. What's the biggest difference between the pros back in the day and the pros now? That's part one. Garrett's probably got some. Do they party more now?
No. Is that a hot seat question?
No, that was a lob right there.
Yeah. Well, the scene was different, and I think the scene can impact how pros may or may not act. I mean, obviously, back in the early to late night, and before even I was involved, like late '90s, early 2000s, that was a scene. Action sports as a whole was a scene around the world, and a lot of the athletes were rock stars. I mean, I remember being in an airport with Parks in 2005. We were in LAX on our way to Tahiti to film for the Parks documentary, and multiple people recognized him. It's just like, all right.
It was in 2005, yeah. Wow.
That was 06, I think.
Yeah.
When we went to Tahiti, 6 or 7. But anyway, the difference now, from what I've noticed, athletes actually do. It's not that they take it more seriously, but I think they understand some of the ramifications of being a pro a little bit better. They are more regimented with like health routines and working out. I wouldn't say there's less partying. Well, actually, no, there is a little less partying. It's not as much of a party scene as it used to be.
Yeah.
And maybe that's because I'm an old dad now and I'm like more removed from it. I know that La Familia can hold their own, and the bro stock was a vibe.
Yeah.
We had some good party times at that last year. But it's, yeah, I think athletes are a little bit more understanding of some of the professional athlete side of it, as opposed to being a rock star wakeboarder. Yeah,
definitely. I think to speak to the party side of things, I know Nico said back in the day they used to party the night before the contest, go to the contest, party the night of, and now it's nobody's partying the night before a contest. It's all some sure, but for the most part,
you don't see too many hungover riders on the start dock these days. And back in the day, oh yeah.
Well, I think cable, there's in a way a saturation too of like, it's crazy how many really good riders there are.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe there is a healthy fear of I'm only as good as my last, round.
Yeah. And if I'm not progressing forward, if I'm staying still, people are just going to jump over me, which is.
Yeah. And the amount of people I personally have told to take a page out of Murray's playbook, like if you're not looking at like the longevity of this guy,
right,
and seeing the ways he's continued to try to monetize his role in this industry, and even JB and a few others. I think I started riding in '94, so I was looking up all the pros. You were working with them, so for me it was.
Oh, but in the '90s, I was in high school looking at Wakeboarding Mag, and I'm looking at Murray on Wakeboarding Mag's cover and in all the videos. So like, yeah, I'm looking at Parks and Danny, and I'm like, these guys are my age, and they're getting paid to like go around the world and hang out on boats. I want to do that, but I'm not good enough. It's like, what can I do with a camera?
The irony of the exposure now is that how many people do you have? Like Steve from Follow, we finally met at Summit. But he's been a friend for a while, and we've talked, and but there's this level of familiarity that you build with social media, and you see people in person, and there's not as much starstruck. I don't know.
Well, the second part of his question was, do we still have rock stars like back in the day?
Oof.
Rock star's also a perception, right? So it depends on the person's perception meeting that person. La Familia has a little bit of the rock star vibe. They've got their own like little video unit that runs around with them, and so they're regularly like putting out pieces together, and they very much act like a current day. It's like how Pointless would act with social media around, right? Yeah. It's like they're documenting each other and partying with each other, riding with each other, pushing each other, getting into hijinks with each other.
There just isn't the same level of notoriety as maybe there was back in the day.
We don't have like the third party media promoting
and
it.
All the big energy drink sponsors that would bring events and money and exposure into it. So yeah.
So, I think the better question is when did that change and why? Because I look at Felix, Nico, and if David were sitting in the room, I would like to ask him, does he see those guys passing the baton to? And even if they do, because we know there's some amazing up and coming riding, European riders, but will they carry the same weight that Felix and Nico have carried? I mean, think about how many laps they've taken at Langenfeld and all these places, and I'm sure there's just tons of kids who just look up to those guys.
Right.
Whereas I look at some of the top boat riders in this current era. I don't know, I don't want to name any names because I'll just pick somebody for making the point. But like if so and so's walking down the halls of an airport, I don't know that many boat riders or people are getting noticed.
Yeah.
And I wonder why.
I mean, the industry sees a lot less coverage than it used to.
Field
X
TV,
Games.
yeah.
Parks, and Danny and all those guys in X Games and stuff. Danny had the 4-peat or whatever, or 4-3 in a row, 3-peat, and then won 4 overall. I don't know, but at any rate,
isn't that the angst we have about social media in general? Though, like we've got more access to knowledge than ever before.
Yeah, but we're dumber than ever before.
Right.
Too much. Yeah,
Right. So we've got a lot of these people a lot of them do have genuine large followings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you'd think that the exposure is way better now.
Yeah.
You don't have those separate entities that are handpicking, basically, like not handpicking Danny Harf's, but like you have the X Games and Danny Harf won 3 in a row. It's like they're now Danny Harf won. We're putting Danny Harf's name, face in front of everybody. Rather now, where that's where you would consume that kind of action sports stuff. Where now you can consume that all the time, everywhere. There's no entity.
Yeah, there's less contests than there used to be. There's less third-party involvement, especially from like the energy drink side. Red Bull still does a lot and still sponsors athletes, but they're pretty much the only energy drink. And whereas we used to have, Monster was the title sponsor of Brostock, and there was
Rockstar
the Monster
used to have some athletes too.
Rockstar was the title sponsor for the Pro Tour and had a stable of athletes. There's a little, and anytime you have less, non-endemic involvement, just means that much less exposure is multiplied.
Yeah. Well, the non-endemic are bringing the people who don't know what this stuff is in.
So is a guy maybe Steele might be.
Steele's probably the closest thing. Harley, I bet Harley would probably get recognized.
Yeah.
Most out of anybody.
No, but I think Steele's crossover.
Oh yeah, because Steele's crossed over with golf and lifestyle.
Yeah.
I just think but out of that, I don't know. It's not a knock on our pros. I think it's just kind of like a lot of these topics we've covered where you just go, we all don't know what to do with social media and go, what's the real ROI? How do we, because usage and name and image and likeness has gone through the roof, but it doesn't necessarily equate to dollars.
Right. Yeah, that's where if we get the Olympics, maybe we get some rock stars.
There we go.
Boom. Case closed. Got it. Solved it. Let's quick touch on setup. I don't know, Garrett.
Whatever's in the boat.
Okay. I like that answer.
I've been known to ride way too many boards and not stick with one. I've ridden the Rocket the last few seasons pretty religiously, but I've been on this guy's recommendation, been riding the Liquid Force Press. And then I also am riding Slingshot's One Lock Foil Series.
Oh, nice.
Why'd you have to throw the foil shit again?
Just because
He's just doing it. Come on.
He knows how to poke the bear.
Yeah,
Yeah, he does. Damn, you're
It's
right.
because you drank beer by the kids.
Speaking
Because I didn't offer
which,
it to him.
we got some ginger ales here.
Zero
In case you're
sugar.
wondering- Yeah.
Dan was complaining about the negative side effects of aspartame.
You're gonna try Rivers or Gavin's board.
I mean, I've already got Rivers board ordered.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
When they come out with the larger size.
Yeah, the current one
52.
would be.
I told her I was going to ride the 37 just to start a new trend. It's like,
New crew.
You want to bust another
New
ACL? Yeah,
I
that's a good
don't.
way
I
to do
really
it.
don't. No, I haven't seen Gavin's board in person, but looks great. Kid's killing it.
This comes in 52, right?
I believe so.
152.
Yeah,
Yeah.
53.
53.
53.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. So you're just kind of floating around stuff. You don't really ever.
Yeah,
have
and I'm pretty. Let's see, I'm probably like 12. My stance has gone wider since blowing my knee out. I realized that a narrow stance for the way I ride was not going to cut it anymore.
You should try that stance on that I have set up back there.
Yeah.
Look at the holes. A lot more nose than tail. Both boots are set back. It's a lot of fun.
Huh.
Try it today.
Why not just get a directional board?
Because I don't like directional boards.
Oh man, the Rover is one of the most.
I guess that's the one I haven't ridden.
The Rover it's all time. It's so fun, and especially like skiing wise. I mean, you wouldn't do posi, but just set it up and just it carves, and it's so fun to rip as
Yeah.
like almost like just purely carving.
I want to be fully committed to the full direction of that.
Are you still noodling?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, press.
And the press.
Yeah, that's what I'm on. What's your favorite board you've ever ridden and least favorite board you've ever ridden? Because you always text me, call me like, oh, that's board, I read this. All the brands.
The Rocket's up there. Boat boards, I loved Double Up series for a while. Greg Nelson was my hero for a while, like best Indy tantrum of all time. And so his part from Tahoe. But when Dup came out originally, I loved those boards. Those boards were so good.
Yeah.
I had Colin Wright's, his 43. It was like Where the Wild Things Are, that graphic. Loved that board. And I think I switched over to the Premier. Was such a great boat board. I mean, I could go on and on about all these.
All right, least favorite.
You probably rode a lot more boards than, I know you rode a lot more boards than I did. As a kid, my favorite board would have been Watson's Substance. It was all red, and I had the blue and gray Ultra Suck combo. And on that red board, and that board was super fun. And my least favorite board would have been from the same era. It was like when Parks' Hyperlight board was that super aggressive 3-stage, and like had like the super crazy like tip and tail. It's just a bucket Bronco.
Not a fan.
So least favorite board, that Byerly with the molded.
The hook thingies.
The cutout
should be illegal.
It was so annoying to like. You'd go to release on a back roll, and the board was like locked in perpendicular until the very moment that tail released. It was the weirdest experience. And then my other one, unfortunately, sorry Hyperlight, I'm jumping on you guys here, but was it the Ripsaw? Not the Ripsaw.
It starts with an R. Oh, the cheap one. No, the dipstick.
Oh no, not Mars. No, his was good. Oh my gosh, what's the name of that board?
The one Nick Davies rode?
Was this a cable board?
It was a cable board relatively recently, but it was the...
Was it the Ripsaw? That's a board. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's current enough, but it was a few ago. It was somebody's sort of pseudo pro model. It might have been LeDuc's pro model. Okay. I know he had a hard time with it too, but it was like the biggest tank, unrideable. Like it was like riding a 2x6.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
Hey.
I've enjoyed I've enjoyed some Hyperlight boards over the years, but not that one.
All right, we got you wrote on a note here. We were texting last night about stuff to talk about, and you wrote down brand development / imaging with Garrett, and so I kind of want to tap your guys' brains on this and what you were kind of like alluding to when we were talking about that.
So for Garrett, I think my question is, with how you're involved with LF and in the social media era, and in some ways you're back to David's question, you guys are, how do you make the most of this talent that you have, which is such an awesome group of humans that are great on and off the water. How much is there an intentionality to, all right, going into the 26-27 season or ahead, like, what's the focus with brand development? And I think with combining a brand with their personal brand,
right?
I'm having a hard time being concise in the question.
But how do you
combine the two, work together?
Right.
Because the goal, and I just keep banging the same drum. How the hell do we sell as many boards as possible?
Right. So speaking from the LF perspective, we do go into a year with like obviously 26 is a big year for LF because. I think there's 4 pro models that are new to the line.
Right? Maddie,
Rivers, Gavin,
Luca. Oh, is it just 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's, how do you? So yes, you come up with ways to promote those, and we do. We are very proactive with the team. Like, okay, like, hey, just so you guys know, like this month or this week might be more focused on this product, like especially in the beginning of the year, like when product launch happens. And for LF, that's usually later than the other brands, but they've done a January launch the last couple of years. And so the first week is like, we're going to tag all of you in every post and just like share that like the new content is live. But then the second week might just be a focus on boat boards, and it might be a little bit more focused on the Origin because it's the new one. So just so you know, if we're not like tagging you or reposting whatever you're posting, it's not a slight. And then, and so it honestly, a lot of it does just come down to communication, and the LF marketing team is awesome to work with. It's Tom Fushi's the, OG legend and team manager. And he's always keeping them like, we have a weekly marketing call. Like, okay, actually we technically have 2 weekly marketing calls. We have one that's like the entire like marketing team for LF. And then we have one smaller one that's just like focused on the actual assets. Like, so it's me for photos and running social, Shane for video, Tom for talking to the team, and a couple other guys, like Don Wallace, Billy Witcher,
Who's the biggest source of outside inspiration for you guys?
Are
you looking to Snow? Are you looking to, you're obviously super creative and talented people, but it's like, I know I'm always looking at all different areas for inspo.
For me personally, it's honestly a mix, but yes, it is, you know, I do follow a lot of other action sports accounts, and see what they're doing, but I also follow like, just like some general outdoor brands, and being a print nerd still, I still subscribe to there's a guy named Steve Casimiro who was an editor at Powder magazine when I was a kid and subscribing to Powder. And then he eventually moved, I think, to Outside magazine, or one of Outside's, like there was back when Outside had like 2 different or 3 different publications. One was called like Adventure or something. And then he has now his own coffee table style book called Adventure Journal. It's a quarterly, super nice paper, well-written articles, gorgeous photographs. And it gets delivered, every 3 months. And I look at like what that industry is doing and how they're putting content out there. And then honestly, I'm not afraid to admit it, I'm like the old dog now. And so a lot of like what might be trending or current and what like the athletes, how they want to promote something, I might not even totally understand or grasp. So I'm going to ask them, like, how do you want to do this? Is there something that you want me to do with the LF social account? Like Rivers, we're going to promote the current. Like, is there something that you want to do? And so I'm regularly collaborating with them and seeing like what they want to do. And LF is honestly really fun to work with in that regard. All the athletes are awesome to work with. They're very proactive, and we don't have like a super structured like, we need these metrics. We want you measuring these metrics, and we want to hit these numbers, on this day and this day and this day. It's sort of like, go with the flow. Yes, we do have this week, we're going to promote this board, or this week we're going to promote this vest or whatever. But amongst all that, it is also a lot of juggling. So like, look, Zara just posted this. I should share this to the story. Harley just tagged this product. I should share it. And so it's a lot of.
Yeah, I've never understood how some people pay somebody else to do their socials, like
an outside.
Yeah,
agency.
there's just no like.
In terms of
the organic opportunity
right.
that the ebb and flow of moments.
Right.
Yeah.
You can tell when a brand is paying an outside like industry or whatever, because it's just
or
like
somebody
it's
that
the
doesn't
most
really know.
slop, like stupid captions and photos that don't make sense, and reposted videos that are shitty quality. It's like, what's the point? What are you doing? None of this is going to work.
I get why some brands never post their customers, but at the end of the day, for brand, you want to tell.
I think
we do it.
Sick,
I know.
dude.
I agree.
And I honestly, that's one thing I should probably try and do better. And we've had conversations at it. It's LF gets tagged, the account gets tagged so much, and there's so much content every single day, especially with a team that's as stacked as LF's, and LF is involved in a lot of other aspects of the sport. Like whether it's Bro Stock or the title sponsor of LAO, or there's a lot of things that LF gets involved in that it can be a little overwhelming to try and like remember to do everything, and so finding customers that tag stuff isn't always at the top of the list, but LF is actively for it, and LF doesn't even care sometimes. There's been times where like with the Bro Stock coverage, like it's where the LF account is posting guys like landing crazy tricks or taking huge crashes, and they ride for Hyperlite, they ride for Ronex, doesn't matter. It's all The funny thing about social media, the funny thing about social media is people get super uptight about it because they think it's like, I've got 150,000 followers and then it's like, guys, it lasts like maybe 24 hours if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Like
it's not
for the most part, it's 24
operation.
minutes. For the most part, it's 24 minutes, you know,
Yeah.
and then it's not going to be in somebody's feed. And the next day is the next day.
Well,
the next hour is the next hour.
Something I always thought was the worst when brands like put on an event or something and the recap or the podium photos, they only tag their riders and or they only do stuff with their riders. It's like the sport is so much bigger than just your brand. And I get maybe wanting to hold that so tight, but I think the tighter you hold it, like the worse it gets and the less cool you are to like the sport as a whole because it's not doing a service to anybody.
I made a joke with on sharing of whatever the podium was for what was the content? Was it board stock down in Australia?
Yeah.
And what Battle Day got third, and he had just like officially like left LF and signed with DUP.
Yeah.
And I think he got third. And did Gavin get first?
Probably.
So I think it was like I reshare the podium photo to the LF account and I tag Gavin and I tag it was some other kid that was like a big deal for him to like get on the podium, and then Joe was also there and I wrote and Joe too because we all love Joe.
Everybody loves Joe.
Yeah, you shouldn't be so uptight about social media. It's supposed to be fun. We're just promoting the sport and the people that are part of it.
Yeah,
and we are such a small industry, and that's where, again, like when pros come to West Rock, it's not like going to a ski resort. You can't just show up and be anonymous.
Blend in,
Like we all got to work together.
Yep.
So,
how many DMs do you get on the LF account about kids wanting to get sponsored?
A lot.
And how do you field those?
I don't even know if I want to acknowledge this, but there's a multiple right now where people say day whatever of asking for a free product.
Oh no!
And so there's one kid who's in the double digits of days asking, and I haven't even sent a reply.
Once you hit 1,000,
you get to 1,000 days of asking for a free product, and then maybe I'll pass it along to customer service.
and then maybe I'll pass it along.
No.
Yeah. How many DMs do you get? You probably get some good DMs in the West Rock account.
Not as many as you think. It's pretty chill.
The really funny ones to me are people that actually have a big following. Like there's people that with over 1 million followers that will hit up the LF account looking for a collaboration. Like, what's the best way for my manager to get in touch with your team so we can work on a collaboration? And I'm like, probably not DMing the account. Like if you have a manager, aren't they supposed to be doing this for you?
Yeah,
maybe they're right. They're probably actually writing that. It's probably not the person with 1 million followers.
Yeah.
But it's like, what do you really?
There's a
Yeah, and this will forever be one of my issues in advertising is what is the real ROI for an influencer getting product and doing X with it?
Yeah, I don't know.
And so I know some cables have seen some really good traction with an influencer randomly showing up to do a day at the park or whatever. Okay. But man, most of the time, like I think that's been a problem in our industry is we've given away a lot of free product to people that maybe should have been buying it. You know, and maybe more pro forums would have been the route instead of free gear.
Once you get free gear, it's hard to go backwards.
Yeah.
Like if a kid gets a free gear at 12 to 16 years old.
It's the only reason I'm still in this industry. I really like free wakeboards.
It pays the bill. Free wakeboards pays rent. That's facts.
Big time.
Yeah, it's hard to go from that to being hyped to buy a wakeboard.
Can't get Jimmy to shape you up a slalom ski?
No, not yet.
Come on, Jimmy, please.
Yeah,
it'd be awesome.
Right?
It
wouldn't be too far off from the old skirt for Redline days.
There you go. Okay, I got one more for you, Dan. If somebody wants to ride for free at your park and they DM you, they're like, let's say they're a
what's the magic word?
Let's say they're a mid-tier rider, but you're familiar with them. They're coming into town.
You definitely want to show up and drink beer in the container during our kids' camp.
Hey, just because I'm outlining what the kids don't need to do, sorry. For the record, that wasn't me. I never did anything like that.
I know. So, I really wish that I would hear from brand team managers like just, hey, we got so and so coming in. How can we work out a deal for the week or whatever? Because a lot of times, and I think this is a topic we don't have time to get into probably, but even if you're on Flow or a pro, like what are you really doing to grow the sport? If you make it all about you, I have a hard time supporting you, and I am notorious for giving away free ride time at West Rock.
Yeah.
You personally know that. I'm sympathetic to the southern parks because you've got a higher population of high level talent near you that are pros or whatever. And so, you know, O-Dub's always had a pro pass, whatever. Like, whereas for me, if you come up to West Rock, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to give you a pass. But if you show up and if you haven't even reached out in advance and, hey, what can we do? Let's do something together.
Right.
Like we've turned a few people away. Some people have had to pay, and partly because they just didn't take the time to just reach out and be professional about it. If you're a pro, be an actual professional on and off the water.
Same thing I said about doing the photo shoots. Like, yeah, this is such an important lesson, I think, for some of the younger riders. I mean, probably even some older riders. But like, be a pro. And part of being professional means being proactive. And that's one of the lessons I've always tried to teach younger riders is you have to be proactive, especially today. Like, there used to be so many more sponsorship opportunities back in the day. You didn't have to be as proactive, sort of like your riding spoke for itself and people might approach you. If you feel like a door is opening, push that door open and in a proactive way. Like, and if it's not open wide enough, keep knocking on other doors. And like, so yeah, if I'm going to go to West Rock and I'm like a semi-pro or pro rider, I'm going to reach out to Dan and be like, hey, yeah, what can we set up something like a little clinic or like do a special, like a kicker contest and I can be the judge and like we can put, I can get like a little piece of product from one of my sponsors and bring it and give it away. Like there's so many things that you can do as a pro beyond like how well you ride. So many, especially today, so much more matters than how you actually ride your wakeboard or wake surfboard or whatever. It matters like how you carry yourself, how proactive you are, the things that you're doing, how engaging are you with fans, with sponsors, with a park like Dan's, you know? So like do that, be proactive.
Yeah, because your social media post.
Yeah.
It's not doing anything, guys. Let's be real.
Your followers are not our customers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, that's great. You've got 100,000 followers. It's not going to do anything for my part.
None of them are within 30 minutes.
So come do something for my customers.
Yeah.
You know, like, and get them and one that gets them. If you're actually doing something that's a little bit special and different than just riding there, like, or I've got my buddy with a GoPro and we're going to film a section and put it on my YouTube channel. Like, no, come do something and like engage with my paying customers.
Yeah.
Like, even if it is like a goofy best trick contest or like how many spins can you do on the tabletop, like go do something fun.
That was one of my favorite stories about JB. He was in town for like a week, he and Graham, and we had a 2.0 class. These kids had never ridden before and they knew who JB was. And it was awesome to me to see the impact of what JB had been doing to grow the sport. And I'm like, wait, you've never wakeboarded before, but you know who this dude is? And so like there is value in media, and I'm not totally anti social media and all that, but when I look at the impact that Rivers women's events have had, Anna's back in the day, who else? Max Evan and Luke Holmes came by we did an awesome event. They helped with a contest that we did called Feature Farm, and they did a clinic in the age of the Airbnb. Now, staying places like West Rock, which are kind of annoying to stay at, I understand it sucks you can't camp at our park. But with Airbnbs and affordable ways to stay, it's more important to me that you want to be at our park for like a week. That's what's going to sell more of your boards. You're going to be in part of our culture. Every time a pro comes, their board all of a sudden is popular. It's on our dock. It's because you care about our people.
Yeah. It's not rocket science.
Yeah.
You'd think it was.
I know.
And I guess when it comes to like the influencer marketing thing, like if you wanted to have someone who has a status on Instagram, you'd do somebody in your local area that has followers from your local area. The pro wakeboarder with X amount of followers is pretty much useless. Their followers aren't in 30 minutes of where your cable is. So it's really, I'm not going to say pointless, but it's not really going to move the needle. The local influencer is going to move the needle. If that person who does visit Rockford or whatever has X amount of followers, that will move the needle for you because those are people that can actually go there. So I guess kind of using the athlete's leverage and understanding that maybe it's not your social following, it's you being there on the dock, talking to people and getting the cable owner excited about you coming. And like, what's an idea that if someone were to hit you with, you'd be excited to hear about? Like, I think Rivers did the women's thing. I don't know if that was her idea or what.
It's
whatever,
continuing education. So unless you luck out on the dock and you're next to somebody who is intentionally trying to help the community get better, it's all about rider progression, continuing your education as a rider and ability, development. So that's, we see a lot of people leave the sport because they just get bored. I don't know. That's probably the number one.
Yeah. 100%.
Because everything trickles down from the middle-aged mom or dad or whoever who's in it just enough to keep enjoying it and see the value in their physical development, you name it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a whole lot else on here besides Terminus. I feel like we didn't really talk about Terminus. We kind of touched on it a little bit, and you're rocking the upside-down Terminus hat. I know you and Chase, and obviously you have a lot of relationship with Terminus. Is there anything you want to talk about? Kind of RIP. Sad to see. I know I've been following Chase of the entire process, and every time I see it, I get a little sad.
I know.
Sucks. But.
First, I would just say thanks, dude. Chase had a vision and brought it to life, and Terminus made a really special community that had a huge impact on our sport. Huge impact, and not even just our. And I think you could take more pride in like the community that it created than the impact on the sport. There's a lot of people that have really special relationships with each other because of that place, and it was evident every time you went there. Like there was just a cool community to Terminus. And I got to spend more time there recently because LF was doing some of their expo stuff there, showing off, the next year's line. And it was just so fun. It was just super fun. And then I dug through the archive because Chase asked, I think for their final kickoff party or their final going away party, which I think it was like snowing.
Yeah.
They had to rent like a tent and put space heaters in it because it was snowing in Georgia that day.
Preston skinned it though.
Yeah.
To his credit.
Wow.
And so that's where they made the announcement for Rivers Rider of the Year.
Yep.
And I think Chase had some sort of, he either printed some stuff up or had like a little slideshow that he had going. I never even found out actually what they did with it, but I went through the archive and I was like, man, there was some cool stuff that went down there.
A lot of cool shit. Yeah.
I ended up only being there 4 different times over the years. It was for one of the Wake Park Triple Crowns, the Moxie Pro, which was the all women's contest, and then the last 2 LF Expos. But all of them were like super memorable, and so just thanks to Terminus for making that space.
Yeah, I never got to go there as much as I wanted to. I remember I called Chase out for his expensive passes in like 2021. We had a phone call about it for like 45 minutes. That's the reason I really didn't ride there, because the 2-hour pass was like over $60 or $70. And I was like, And I was at the level where I would talk to Chase and be like, oh, can we figure something out? But yeah, it's I can't imagine my home cable, the cable I grew up at, closing action. Like it would be, I don't know. I don't want to think about it.
The sad poetry of it all is actually kind of insane when you think about it, with Rivers, growing up at that park, getting into wakeboarding because that park was built, her dad taking her there, she learns to ride, gets addicted, and becomes pro, gets her first pro model board, her first pro model unit rail, films her section there, and then gets the announcement that it's closing, which like I imagine is just soul crushing for, that's like her home. And then gets on the last day, it makes the announcement for Rider of the Year. It's pretty insane. And she's the first ever female.
Yeah, when Olympics come around 2032, they better put that on the little preview of when she's going up to go to the dock. Yeah,
it blows my mind that, because this is partly why we're looking at moving, is that I want to be near a sports complex, and the area we're in really believes in it. So every one of these soccer, baseball facilities, they need to have their family entertainment dialed. And Terminus and it seemed to be the gold standard.
Right. So
to me, like, I wasn't privy to a lot of kind of what ended up playing out on the back end of it, the financial, the land, all that. But it's heartbreaking, man. You said it great. Thanks to Terminus. As a person of faith, like Chase and I really connected about like having an eternal perspective. Like every single person that walked through that door felt the love And I know Chase sitting here, he would agree, we're not perfect running these cables. We're not, but like, we want to love people first, then the sport. And Chase and his whole crew, they just did such a fantastic job of that. And, I mean, you think about how many lives were impacted from one cable. It's huge.
I think of it like coaching trees in like football sports. Like you have a head coach that has coaches under him, and they go around. And like the coaching tree from Terminus is like, I mean, Jeff Mathis, like Cole Vantoff. Like there's so many like little things that came out of it that is so interesting to me.
Yeah, and I've been around enough to know that some of these relationships they were tough at times for some of those guys involved with Chase and the development, and it's all when people are involved, then sometimes things get messy. But when you look back and go, man, and I think everybody just goes, a great line there, Hunter. But like, what an incredible long-term impact. And I hope the cable goes up somewhere else.
Yeah,
I'd love to see that.
Dream, but
hopefully,
let's make it happen, industry. Let's get more cables going.
Because the ATL area could use like 6 cables probably. It's good to sustain it, but yeah, hopefully it gets built and something happens. Positive. Let's talk about upcoming season before we wrap this up. I mean, you guys got any cool plans? Any exciting things at West Rock? Any cool boating mag reviews that you're doing? Maybe a little Sea Ray action? You hopping on a whaler anytime soon?
Haven't heard yet. Maybe.
Whaler would be sick. Tap me in for the whaler. I'd love to join.
If I get back on that Regal that surfs. That
The Regal surf. 38?
Whatever it's a cabin cruiser that you can take over to the Bahamas, but you can also
surf the way to the Bahamas.
Yeah. Plans for the summer. This is the time of year when things start like coming into focus for me. Like with LF is planning their 2027 shoots. I'm sure they'll be fun. And yeah, we're obviously the lineup of contests is being sorted out, and it looks like it'll be another fun, crazy year. LAO. I'm hopeful to go to LAO this year.
Have you been?
I've never actually been to LAO. Yeah. I've been to Langenfeld, but I've never been there for LAO. So it'd be
May. What is it again?
May 5th or 6th, or is it 8th?
I think I think it's the 7th and 8th, right? It's hard because it's Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah,
but we're figuring that out.
I need to go. I keep saying that.
Saturday, May 9th, 2026. So yeah.
Yeah, for us, every year I'm just trying to refine what we do and make it better and better and make the most out of what we have. We're not killing it financially. We're cable to 2.0s, and so like our camps are really a big focus. And I'm always, you and I talk about it periodically about trying to complement RGR. The guys at Action are killing it with that. And if you are an above average rider looking for a great contest, that's one of the best in the States. So get up to Michigan, do RGR, because ideally we're gonna try to piggyback on that event again with Feature Farm.
Yeah.
And Feature Farm was we did a little sample test last year, and it was just like, it's good when everybody in the dock is just like smiles ear to ear. So we'll work on announcing that sooner than later, but we don't, this is not a woe is me, but we don't have like major boat sponsors and stuff involved. So it gets tough for us to throw cheddar around. And like, if we had an aqua park, and that's why I love seeing like almost a resurgence with KC.
Yeah. Huge resurgence.
So,
seems like with Todd there.
Yeah, Todd and those guys, Sean's they've been just great distant neighbors, but I just love seeing, there's some movement going here.
Yeah. Idea for you, Dan. How many features do you have at West Rock?
20 plus.
Okay. For Feature Farm, can we put like 16 of them in a row on the main straight?
If you help me move them.
I will absolutely help you move them. Me and Matt Gagnon will be in there. So Sunrise.
So we did a mega, we called it the Mega Lahack one year, and it was awesome.
How many features was that?
Oh man.
In a row.
It was long.
Hand me a number, because I want like 15 plus in a row.
know,
I want the whole straight to be plastic.
Just plastic to plastic.
The whole thing.
Somebody needs to buy that.
Hunter doesn't want to touch
Somebody
water.
buy that.
Come on, we got to make it happen.
Yeah.
Hunter doesn't want water.
The challenge rail needs to happen again, because it was so fun. The problem is like, do you end up with a bunch of really gnarly closeouts?
Perfect.
Apparently,
I'm not seeing problems.
There's your test dummy.
I'm seeing solutions. I think that would get people to come to ride if they saw nobody in wakeboarding has done it. that I can think of recently.
Again,
Like a true challenge rail where if somebody gets to the end, it's like the whole place goes crazy.
our mega hack was pretty awesome, but you're right. Like
I want mega, super ultra mega.
somebody buy that rail, please.
You could buy it, Dan. No. Okay. Anything else? Any other upcoming plans? I mean, this season you got feature farm. Anything other than that? I mean, you change anything with slow ride times? I feel like it's kind of interesting.
Part of my gripe with some of the brands is usually we're just, and this is not all their fault, but we're always kind of waiting to see where they're going to be and when, you know, and I add it to my list of hot takes, but I think there are a few riders that need to be at every pro event. And then there are other riders that don't really need to go. And I understand that, like, you get to a certain point and you can compete against the Gavins and the Rivers, but maybe there is more value in some of these riders spending a week in an Airbnb in Rockford. Maybe you do end up spending more. Your riding develops more. You build more of your personal brand, doing more of that instead of traveling around Europe when maybe your riding level isn't there yet. And that's not for me to say. Again, like I took some European trips as a younger guy, and like it's life-changing. So I'm not saying none of these people deserve to go over there, but we're forever waiting for who's around and when and can they stop by. And so I wish I had a more of a clear
I'll
picture.
piggyback on that.
Yeah.
Back to the advice. Back to the advice about being proactive. If you are not, like if you're sniffing, like maybe I'll be 10th place, you know, this week at this event in Europe, versus I could go and do like 4 days of demos and come up with like I could work with my sponsors and work with Dan and come up with like a fun, unique series of things to do. Sure, we could shoot some video content. We could do a funny little best trick contest. We could do whatever. You could do whatever age group learned to ride day, whatever gender learned to ride, whatever. You could go do that and make such a bigger impact, not only for that community, but for your career.
But how much of this is back to the team managers having just having a 30,000 foot view? And I know that's forever tough. It'll never get easier to tell riders that they're cut.
No.
And I don't think it'll ever get easier to have that mentor role of like, listen, you're just not there yet. Save the travel money and the time. But I think we do need to hold some of these athletes' hands more. Because again, we need more rental helmets and more boards sold. And that's why I come back to that pro tour where I want the top 10 in each stop.
And then the rest
doing the most they can to grow the sport and build their personal development on the water.
Yeah, and I think when you were talking earlier about the next Felix or whoever, like Felix wasn't built overnight. You know, he had almost an overnight, jump with the debut, and that portion of his career he did really well in. But his resume is long. He's been in this for over a decade plus.
Yeah, well,
they don't get made overnight. You know, like whoever the next one is.
Cam on the snow on that ridge run that he did as a follow cam.
Yeah, the Red Bull thing where he did the rail and almost died.
I couldn't believe that was Felix. I know he's good on a snowboard, but that was unbelievable.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying those guys' careers are not built overnight. So it's like, who's the next one? Well, we'll see in 5 to 7 years who the next one is, because I don't think it's going to be not anybody. It's up to the person to make the name out of themselves and meet the people, shake the hands and kiss the babies.
There's some good young riders. I've got hope. Like we said, back to the optimism. There's some good young riders, and they are proactive. Like, I mean, again, I'll have the LF bias, but like Rivers and Gavin are 19?
Mm-hmm.
And they're super proactive about not just their riding, but about how they carry themselves and being proactive. You know, and they're picking up cameras and helping riders like shoot their parts or edit their parts, or doing. Rivers does those demos that she's done, and So more of that.
Yeah, as long as their heads don't get too big,
Right.
We'll keep them in check. We've got to keep them humble,
Yeah. I'll use the social media account to
dog on them a little bit. Yeah. There you go.
What about you, Hunter? Where's this all headed?
Great question.
The website expand. You're like trying to create more of a media hub, but where do you see Grab Matters going?
Doing a couple of things this year that we're kind of testing out the Grab Matters Worldwide Best Grab Tour. I think that maybe might have some legs in the future. So we're doing at least 4 stops, probably add one whenever we figure out dates for Future Farm. So 5, maybe 6. I think that'll be fun, easy. I just kind of like lump it onto other events if the events are cool with that, and super quick. Got RGR this year, which we're going bigger for again, thanks to all this. Got some new sponsors in on that, so it's really exciting. The website, working on the website, building that out a lot. Going to try and do some more, unique content. We got shot a video with one of my friends up in Grand Rapids on Twiggy. So maybe some more Twiggy the water skiing squirrel for those who don't know. Tours around boat shows.
Yep.
And so, maybe some more stuff like that. Just, not serious content in the water sports world. Going to events. Going to Hexajam. Real excited for Hexajam. Very excited for that. Probably more shop talks, I think, is going to be more fun to kind of lean into group formatting and shoot the shit on wakeboarding.
Heck yeah.
No foiling in the future, though, if you're wondering. I know you've been trying to feed me in on that.
Freshwater powder.
That's a jailable offense, that sentence right there. Jail. Straight to jail. No trial. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Oh, my goodness.
Gunther and Megan might get you, Gunther and Megan.
So fun.
Somebody's got to sit here and stand up for wakeboarding. Damn it, it's going to be me.
I'm almost 46, and I still ride cable, and I'm one of the biggest fans of the sport. And I also love to foil. So
that's fine.
If I hang up the wakeboard, then sure, you can. It's valid.
Your split can't be more than 50-50.
I'm on your team.
Okay. This room is full of wakeboards. The people watching can't see. It's not going to be full of foils because you wouldn't be able to walk around anyways because they're fucking knives sticking everywhere.
No, the one lock it collapses down. So I shouldn't be giving them free advertising probably, but
you just did. You just did.
Whatever. Speaking of which, this podcast needs a few more sponsors. So support it. Let's get this
trying.
Thing. Yeah,
trying. We'll get there hopefully. If people who sponsor the show, I mean, the money's just gonna go back into wakeboarding. I got really nothing. I haven't bought new clothes in God knows how long. As you can see. This is thrift store fine.
Chips.
Hat was free.
Haven't bought chips and how long?
We took a break to go to the bathroom, and Garrett was drinking these bubbly waters on an empty stomach. And he's like, "Yeah, any food?" And I walk in the pantry. There's some Doritos were they?
Yeah.
In the Pringles can.
They were vintage Doritos.
They were vintage.
I hand them to him, and I walk away, and he goes, "What, one nibble?" And you're like, "These aren't edible."
These aren't edible. That's like cardboard.
Yeah. So sorry about that. We're there. Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything else you guys want to touch on. Chop it up. We've been going for 2 hours, 2 hours 20 here.
Dang.
We did the thing.
Time flies. You're having fun.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Hunter. Appreciate you, Garrett.
Yeah, thank you guys.
It's fun
for
being on this
feelings mutual
journey together.
100%.
Yeah. So many awesome people in this industry. Just thankful.
It is pretty sick. It's hard. Yeah, it is pretty sick to meet everyone, and everybody's cool. For the most part,
for the most part, it's pretty nice.
Yeah,
it's pretty nice.
It's a good group of people.
I don't think we're gonna get tired of gliding on the water, whether it's a wakeboard or a foil.
You just got. How do I cut the mic? What are you, mic 1 or 2?
No, but I do. With some of the sad news about these cables, and I just keep looking around, going, "Damn, how do we get past all this travel sports nonsense and get people out here to do this?" And like at the end of the day, like, man, it's so fun.
It's fun.
Super fun. And that's where,
fun.
People always say, is wakeboarding dying? Is it dead? It can't die because it's fun.
Yep.
It might change what it looks like. Maybe it'll be less money. Maybe there'll be more money in 5 to 10 years. Who knows? It's always fun. It's going to be fun. It's never going to die.
There are so many people that will never own a boat. It would change our whole industry if we could get cables. Just there haven't been enough developed in the U.S., and that's been one of our biggest problems. I believe in it still. I guess,
and do you think, I personally believe the Olympics would be an injection of newly built cables, whether that's in America or whether a country, in a different part of the world is like, we've got 6 years. Cables take 6 months to a year to build. We can crank out some talent in the next 4 to 5 years. Who knows? Yeah. And then once it comes in 2032, everyone sees it and is like, oh, you get some people with money that want to build it and make a viable business option. Who knows? Well, that is my last thing I would talk on is like, I brought it up to WSIA and how do we have Westrox ready to go with different municipalities and replicate what we've done? Copy and paste situation. Because we own the equipment, the business, but the Rockford Park District has been an unbelievable partner, whereas Terminus and some of the others have not had the same fate. Like they are, they're beholden to a corporate entity. They are. And one of the first things the Park District said to us, like, we don't care about making a ton of money
So like the lease was going to make sense, and they just want to serve their constituents.
Yep.
There have to be that many more municipalities that believe the same thing. And this is a historically cost prohibitive sport, all the things, and like cable's perfect for that.
Yeah,
Let's put one on Lake Eola with a fountain in the middle. Have
Be
have the swan boats going around as obstacles.
Epic. Down. I always thought one somewhere in Orlando, like downtown area, would be insane. But
Midwest, baby. We need like 30 more.
yeah, easy. I believe in it.
All
Just
right.
got to get it to happen. All right. Well, anything else? We good?
We're good.
Take us out of
Good.
here. All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thank you to all the Patreon subscribers for supporting the show. Your guys' support is what keeps this podcast going. Without anything else, we'll see you guys next time.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Thanks, y'all.